Absolutely. Okay, so folks, this is going to be a VOD review of T1 versus Gen G because this happened just this morning. I wanted to get this out quickly so people who are wondering about what the hell happened in this game can figure stuff out. My pen is working, which means I can start looking through this as well. So without further ado, I think we get into this. So coming into this match, T1 and Gen G are very clearly the two best teams in the league. This game is not being played in front of a live crowd. This is played as a pre-recorded one. And important things to notice. So Ona was out for a series for Guwon because Ona was recovering from sickness, I think, for a while, or injury. I can't remember exactly why he was out, but he was out. Now T1 were played Bro there, and they did win that series. And typically, when we have reviewed T1 before, we have talked about how they have very powerful lanes which win a lot in isolation. They draft to win isolated lanes, and they just play very well. And then you also have Ona, who then goes into the enemy jungle with aggressive jungle champions that can track the enemy jungler and stop them from ever ganking lanes, because winning lanes don't always stay winning. If they're left alone, they can do, though. So Gen G, typically in the past, the way that they have dealt with them is, even though it wasn't Canyon in previous iterations before this year, we saw this a little bit in regards to their first series that they played this year too, is that Canyon is very good at slipping off a vision and getting into lanes anyway. That's one thing. But then also, every single lane from Gen G is also world class. Keen is one of the best top laners in the world. Chovy is one of the best mid laners in the world. And Pays and Lehens on a laning phase level as well are absolutely insane from bot lane. Even though I don't think some people think that Pays is, up there with your Vipers or Rulers or Gumiyushis or something like that. Pays and Lehens on a laning phase level, and the way that they transfer that lead is very, very good. So let's head into this draft and let's see what we can glean from it. Let's see what we can learn. Okay. So T1, one of the champions they've always done poorly against is something like Zeri, because it's hard to shut a Zeri out of laning phase, and they snowball through team fights that you don't quite land the knockout blow in very, very well. So if you mis-execute a team fight, Zeri runs you down, and instead of losing 1 kill, you lose like 5 instead. And then they take away... So this is very good for laning. I think the Nautilus is very good with stuff like the Sanda, but the Sanda's banned away anyways. That's not necessarily the case. Nautilus starts fights very quickly. I'm surprised that they banned that. I don't mind taking away the Sejuani though, which is hard to... It's hard to shut a Sejuani out of the jungle. She's a tank initiator, which is hard to burst out, but then also they're quite good early game as well comparative to most other tanks. How much do you think Azir being disabled affects this draft? That's another great question. So both of these players in Chovy and Faker are big Azir players. In fact, let me have a... I'm going to just quickly cycle through some stuff because this is very important. So, ignore this for now. This is my Ahri skin tier list. This is different, folks. This is me just saying, hey, by the way, I'm an Ahri main. Look at what I think of the skins. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a website and show you. This is called gamesoflegends.gg. It's a very good website for checking stats and telling what people pick. So if I put T1 on one side, and let's go find Gen G on the other. Where's Gen G on here? Where's Gen G? Where are you? Need to find you. Why are you so hard to find? Gen G. It's got the dot in there. That's why. They have a capital S in here? That's not how you spell esports. Anyway, different stuff. So, if you look from this year, most played champion is Azir. Only played 4 games of it, but still in the champion pool as well. Now, of course, we know that Faker from last year as well. If we just go back to... Let's find T1 from last year. So this is 2014. We'll go to 2013. Most played from Faker last year was also Azir as well. So both these players, big Azir players, we know that. Just nice to have that kind of there in terms of statistical form as well, just to show where it is alongside everything else. And one of the big things which Faker really, really likes to have, even though Azir hasn't been great in this year, is he likes to have safe pushing early lanes. Because why is that important? Because if you're playing around jungles that want to get into the enemy jungle, you need to have lanes which can come and respond to you. They can respond to you if they are pushed into the enemy towers, which means they're closer to the enemy side of the map, which means they can walk into the enemy jungle and help you. Azir is very good at that most of the time early on. Thank you very much for the follow, Dillashaw. And so we come through the back end of this draft, and we're going to spend a lot of time on draft as well, because this will inform a lot of stuff. So Ashe being banned away takes away from one of Carrier's best kind of lane dominant champions. We saw Goomer and Carrier play stuff like the Callista Varus before as well. But Lucian has been banned away a lot from them, like a lot. In fact, actually, how much hasn't been banned away from them? It's been banned away from them in over half their games. So they that happens a lot. It happens a lot. So what's the answer? So you expect that Lucian Nami or Lucian Milio is going to come through, and you lock the Aphelios instead. So you can go for the Aphelios Lulu. Now what the Aphelios Lulu does, this has been the traditional counter of years past. I think 2021, this was the main counter, the Aphelios Lulu. Because what happens is, you have strong early laning phase, in terms of your level 1 is kind of bad, but your level 2 and 3 is fine. You have range support versus range support, because Lucian doesn't really go with hard engaged supports now. And it means that, particularly once you hit level 6 and 1 item as well, you can find the Aphelios kind of like reaches points of power, which stops Lucian Lucian and Nami in this case from kind of like walking forward with so much impunity. You have technically a flex pick of the Rel. You don't really want to play Aphelios well into bot lane. You know that's going jungle at this point because you've already seen the Lucian. As soon as you see the Lucian on one side, you know likely you need the lane dominance. And because you've already locked in the Aphelios Rel would lose very, very hard to this duo. You don't want to give losing lanes to T1. Against T1 rather. Now, with that in mind, Jace is locked in as well. Blind pick Jace in topside. Very, very strong individually. But the thing is, you haven't locked a jungler in here from T1. And what have we talked about before in terms of T1? They pick aggressive lanes that can push in early and fight a lot. Lucian Nami's one of them. Jace is another one. Jace is very, very good at kind of like playing through topside. Kind of like early laning phase. And I don't, and I do trust Zeus to be able to lock in a Jace and get good value from it. But the problem is, what happens if you lock in something that can fight back? So, for instance, if you lock in Aatrox, well, that can be a bit risky, I think, because you can get burst out quite hard. But something like Cassante or Udyr, that can be fine too. You could even lock something like Ken on a Rumble if you really wanted to be really ballsy with it. But I don't think you'd do that against Zeus of all players. I think you don't want to give him like the squishy matchups. The main problem is, if you do that, and then you also lock in, say, something like Talia for Chovy or something like that, which can push in early and then roam. What happens now if you eat 2 jungle bans here? So if you ban... If Poppy goes, if you don't have Poppy, and you don't have Xin Sao, or things which can influence the game early, how does T1 affect their lanes? How do you isolate those lanes? So the Lulu comes in. This is fine. Again, we said that we know that the Aphelios and the Lulus like to come through. You want to lock that in. That's absolutely fine. But what happens now if Genji ban out the junglers which can start to prop up these lanes? Because the other thing here is that Jace and Lucian Nami, if they are ganked and they die, they are very, very likely to get shut down. They ban out the Vi. Wouldn't surprise me to see another early jungle ban too. God, I need that caffeine actually. God. And on the other side, I like the Gragas ban. This is banning away stuff that can poke out the Jace. They ban out the Nico instead. Okay. So, what you really want from Owner at this point is something that he can really just run at the enemy jungle with and make sure that the Jace is never interfered with, particularly the Jace, because Jace, if he falls behind, is just so awful. Talia's banned out, Gragas is banned out, so Gragas can deal with the Jace quite well in terms of individual lane. Then the Talia can roam topside. Cassante's locked in, which will lose in isolation to the Jace, but is very good Jace gank follow-up. So Zeus tends to take Conqueror against tanky matchups because he can trade very, very hard. But that means he won't have something like a phase rush, which means that if Cassante ever pops Ghost and just runs at him, and particularly if he manages to W the Hammer Strike as well, things get really, really nasty. Why not Poppy? Where's Poppy here? Poppy's great at level 3, great against this. Pretty good against Cassante too, because you can stop his dashes in. He can W your ults, but if you think about it in team fights later, if you Poppy ult someone away, Lucian gets to ult someone for free, you get to have the Shock Blast onto someone for free as well, and it means you don't have to deal with a tanky front line now. Unless you're looking for the Orianna on this. Calsaurus, thanks for the follow.
Incompetent.
Poppy's not great versus Lulu Aphelios in a lot of ways, but you can just punt out the front line.
Incompetent.
Like, I feel like J4 in this draft is not tanky, and he doesn't necessarily even threaten the Aphelios. What happens if Jarvan ults this guy? He dies horribly. I think Poppy here is much better, even though you are worse against these two, and sometimes bad against this. Because if you can punt away the Cassante and the Rel, they fly out of the team fight, and that means that these two can do big damage. So I think that and even in the early game, Jarvan is not awesome in early levels anymore. I think even though there's the chance that Cassante unstoppables the Poppy ult, if Cassante ever misuses W, he dies. So even if you blow the Cassante, if you hit it behind him and you manage to get rid of these two, or you manage to waste the Poppy, the Cassante W, which then means that these two can gun them down, I think that would be so much more valuable. And you're much better in the early game too. Poppy can actually threaten the Rel and get them away from get away from that lane, and get them away from the lane, so you can kind of like go into the enemy jungle very effectively. Whereas Jarvan, if he has to go aggressively with his flag drag, he can't get out. Someone like a Poppy can like do a wall slam, do a big trade, and then can run out with phase rush. So in terms of your early invades, that's really strong. But let's look at what's locked in alongside it in like the last part of this. You need some AP damage, right? Because you have no magic damage. You need magic damage right now. So you need a mage in mid lane. You can't go Orianna, that's gone already. That's banned out first. Blind pick LeBlanc. There's no Talia. LeBlanc's not the strongest early laner anymore. Very high target act. I would much prefer Ahri, but Ahri... Wait, yeah, why didn't you just go Ahri? Ahri would be perfect here. You can early snowball the game. Where is your Ahri? I know it's not great against tanks, but it's good for the early game, and it's good for your early push. Doesn't Chovy just go Ahri now? Well, Ahri versus LeBlanc is kind of a... I think Ahri's fine. Where is Ahri in this draft, actually?
쉽지 않은 뱀픽 구도가 많이 나오거든요. 그렇게 됐네요. 네, 올해 뭐 안주머니에 숨겨놨던 것도 한 번씩 꺼내기도 하고. 예. 자르반을 했을 때 상대 르블랑 주는 거 까다로운 것도 있고 아리가 나올 수 있다는 점까지 같이 파악하고 꺼내는. So what's your last pick here? Corki. All right. Corki is actually not a bad lane into LeBlanc, by the way. Corki is really not that bad because you trade quite hard early. You're not going to be able to respond to much early game, but you can stop LeBlanc from getting, like, you can push in lanes fairly quickly, so if LeBlanc ever roams out of lane, Chovy can kind of, like, punish Faker for missing waves. As soon as you get Hex Drinker as well, even though you're against majority AD rather, I think the Hex Drinker means that you can just, like, stop Faker from having as much of an impact. I don't even think this Jarvan is for 3v3 bot lane. Because you need to be top lane for Jace. Whenever Jace top lane is in the game, you need to isolate that lane. And typically T1 are very good at that, by the way. They are very, very good at getting into the enemy jungle and making sure that the enemy jungler cannot get into your lanes. You have a Jace here. If Jace ever gets ganked, it is very, very bad. If bot lane... Well, you're JC just hoping... You're hoping that the Aphelios Lulu doesn't survive lane as well. It's quite a close 2v2. You're just hoping that Guma carry out value in that sense. Whereas on the other side, Gen G, they're looking to mess with Jace early. And they're looking to slow down T1's play. If you can stop Ona getting onto the map, and you can hold this Nami in lane, you don't have a melee support or someone like a Rakan that can roam around the map with the Jarvan to make plays. You know, the Nami is not a playmaker. Not in that sense. And it's really quite hard then for it's really quite hard for them to make stuff happen, actually. Oh, shit. Which is why LPL is actually going towards melee supports, by the way. That's why they've been going towards melee supports. It's much easier to play around warding and play around playmaking early on when you've got a melee support. Much, much easier, in fact. Much, much easier. Put it down there. Okay, right. Let's get into this game. Let's have a think about what's important about this. Speed up a little bit for the early game. So important things to note. So again, no phase rush on Zes. He's gone for Conqueror, which means very good trading in a 1v1. Very bad if he gets ganked. Press the attack on Pays. Good early trading as well, particularly if you have like Severum. You can proc that very, very quickly because it applies a lot of your own hits. And also if you manage to get... if you manage to get your like Caliburn combos off well as well, you can get some very... So blue-green is actually a very good combo because you can get the flamethrower kind of spit across into some good auto resets.
Okay, so let's check this level 1 real quick. So you've got Scorch on Carrier. Let's have a look at this. So we have... No, Scorch on... So you've got double Scorch here for early lane pressure. So you need to make use of that. Double Mana Flow, double Scorch. So hitting your ability is really, really nice there. Double Biscuits makes sense. No Scorch here, but you do have Nimbus Cloak, which means that Lehens can kind of like be able to space out some of these 1v1s a little bit easier. Cosmic Insight and then Triple Tonic. I mean, Triple Tonic actually gives it... Wait, for Aphelios that makes sense, because you actually get stats from Triple Tonic. You get like lethality or AD. This is actually... I think Triple Tonic is legit for that. Yeah, that's legit. That's fair. That actually gets you towards like your stats much quicker. I hadn't even thought about that for Aphelios. That makes a lot of sense. And then Absolute Focus, Scorch, Bone Plating Overgrowth, yeah. Again, let's just keep tracking as we go through here how well T1's lanes are doing. And then, okay, so importantly right here as well, just on the regards, I know we're going to be stopping and starting a little bit. Ward onto Raptors very, very early. So Canyon, they know when Canyon will be on Raptors, on his first clip. T1 have been winning by doing the double AD bot. Why did they move away from that? Because they're very, very good at Lucian Army and they assume they'll win lanes with it. That they have been picking that in a lot. Varus wasn't banned, but they're very good with Lucian Army. I don't think that's a problem. They're very good with Lucian Army. So they lose the early level 2 though. Now why are you staying here like this? Are there any low health minions that you're looking for? So there's this one here, and that wouldn't even be level 2. So you need both of you need this minion to die, you need this minion to die to hit level 2. But you're not getting this one right now. But you don't want to miss this CS. If you miss this CS, that kind of sucks. You want to stay within an XP range. XP range is to like there, maybe just beyond what Goom. He's sitting on the edge of XP range. It's pretty close to that. Yeah, that's about XP range actually. But even with the double Scorch, they don't force him off the wave. And Aphelios isn't really a huge champion there. So he kind of sticks around too long. Gets to level 2. Cleanses away from the slow actually. Okay, that means he can actually dodge out on the Moonshot from the Calibrum. But you've lost 2 summoners for 1. It means that you don't lose that much HP and you can fight back at level 2. Thing is, Aphelios isn't a champion until level 2. And now he is, it's a real danger. Zeus is just, you know, brutalizing top lane. They will have seen... Wait, did they see Canyon on Raptors? This is an important point, actually. They see Canyon on Raptors. Important. Okay, cool. Whereas on the other side, Genji don't have information of owner right now. So what really needs to happen is T1 need to get into the enemy jungle to put down some wards, just to see where Canyon's going to turn up first. But because you're losing in bot lane early, which is not something T1 are used to... Oh, did they see J4 and Raptors as well? Yeah, they did. Okay, so both junglers have been seen. Both junglers have been seen. That's important. Yes, that's right. Sorry, I missed that one. So both junglers have been seen. But I think T1, it is so important for them to get vision into top side just to make sure that Zeus isn't going to get just absolutely railed by the first Canyon gank. It reminds me of like Jace versus Darius in early seasons, where Jace would just destroy the Darius, but then the Darius would just hook him back and get free kills with his jungler turning up. Chusei and Brew and Archpolar and LA, thanks for the follow, I appreciate it. Ooh, what's happening here? Okay, so Pays jumps forward for the extra... Oh, okay. Walks straight into slow. That's, again, kind of nasty. He doesn't have any mana to trade back with either. He has biscuits to give himself some mana regen. But normally what would be happening is, if you're pushed up to like here, then Carrier can walk up into the enemy jungle and get wards. You can't do that now. Because Pays and Lehens are actually contesting them in laning phase. How often does that actually happen in the LCK, you know? I really think Pays and Lehens, they have a good answer for the Lucian army, but also like they've been very successful at laning as well. Like even right there, Guma's trying to like, you have very little mana, right? Right here, you have very little mana. You dash forward to try and get that double tap. But he manages to get the extra movement speed from the onslaught at 7, which gives you a slight amount of movement speed as well, to just step out of this. So when you're firing through your red Q, that's what onslaught is, by the way, then you just get outranged. So if he doesn't immediately press Q, if Pays doesn't immediately press Q, by the way, he gets hit by the double tap. Goom is very low mana. He can't afford to like start misusing skills like this. So right here, he just ends up pulling it in time. Goom is just a little too far away. He even got the movement speed off of Carrier. Very, very close. But if he ends up hitting that, that's a double tap with the, I think Carrier would end up proccing Airy through that, and then you'd also get the E as well. That would have been huge damage. comparative to this point in the game. But because they dodge out on that, they don't have the HP advantage. They're actively now getting pushed hugely back in lane. And the laning phase from Guru and Carry is not as clean as it normally is. They're just getting a little bit outspaced. They're just getting a little bit outplayed. Like, this is the strength of Genji's lanes. In mid lane, you have Faker who's got push, and this is important. This is actually really important, by the way. See, one ward being up to put. This is Faker. Canonier. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. So, this ward being put in here, it's very easy for LeBlanc to do this, right? So if you just look down on the minimap, I'm going to draw on there first, right? Even if you're even in lane, LeBlanc can walk over to this part of the river, and then hop over the wall with W, put down a ward. You can put it anywhere in here, really, and then you can immediately flip back. So you don't even have to walk the whole way back. So you flip back to, you'd flip back right back to the way you jumped over the wall there. So Faker manages to get one down. That's very important. Now, is that going to spot Canyon going anywhere? All the camps are down right now. There's a chance of a lane gank and a potential of him going through lane. Jace has still got a pushed in wave. He's got a cull first start as well, so Zez really wants to just be farming, and he'll have the cut down rune as well, so he'll have extra damage to high HP targets. So actually, this is another thing too, in terms of jungle tracking, because they spotted Canyon on the first clear on Raptors, they'll know that he would have gone red Krugs Raptors, so they'll have a respawn timing on Krugs. So they should know he's on Krugs right now. They should know he's on Krugs right now. LeBlanc is once again just heading towards topside, just to see... Okay, that's... again, really good from Faker here, actually. Again, gets a vision plant just here to spot what's happening with Canyon. This is the most important thing happening in this game, by the way. Forget about what's happening on screen here. This is not important comparative to this. The fact that Faker hits a vision plant to spot Canyon is so important. Because remember, what loses T1 this game... It's getting hyper ganked on Jace, because Jace needs to be ahead to be a champion. If you're ahead on that, then suddenly you can match this guy, you can start poking out these guys, and maybe you can have extra damage to kill through the front line as well. So getting that ward on Raptors and the vision plant topside, that fits the game plan really well, because it gives you information to make sure that that Zeus can't just kind of like get ganked over and over. So this is good early start. It's gonna be spotted on Raptors again now. Good uptime. While this is happening, they know that jungle is topside. So these two know that jungle is topside, so they end up making a play towards bot side. Sadly, the bubble doesn't land for them. It's also worth noting as well, hang on. I want to see how... So there's a ward and Tri-Brush from Genji as well. I know I've been looking at this from the T1 side. Let's look at this from the Genji side, right? So they know that Canyon has now been spotted. They should also know that there's a ward on Raptors as well, because it's the only play... Faker will have constant uptime with ward on there. They should know that every time Raptors is up, that Canyon's being spotted. So what they're just trying to do is just nullify lanes if at all possible. They're doing that very well in bot lane right now. Bot lane's going well. The early laning phase from Pays and Lehen's working very well right now. Top lane's getting shoved in, and there's a cull on Zeus, which is nasty. Centiground's against the whole, by the way. And then Genji, they have a ward in Tri-Brush, and they have a ward here as well. It's very hard for T1 to kind of like get into bot lane unseen. Hang on, I think Sam's streaming as well. Let me just see what the... No, my door's bell's just rang. I'm just gonna go check that for a second. Okay, folks. My bad. It's an Amazon package, just let's check if that was. Sam's streaming as well, so I don't think he was gonna answer the door. So, as we were saying, Genji have done a really good job of just making sure that T1 can't get into their bot lane either, because the bot lane that pushes up is going to be under threat. Now, they know that Canyon's been spotted. Genji... But their bot lane is trying to crash in this wave, so you can't just have a wave freeze going in here. Now, you are going to have a reset coming in soon just because of HP and mana. But, yeah. You do see that they're trying to push this in. They stay a little over long. They know that they cannot get caught by anything, so flash for flash. And they also see at this point owners on Tri-Brush as well. If they get caught here, that's a huge moment for them. And suddenly you have a lane lead through bot side. So they escaped that. The wave crash doesn't come through because Guru and Carry look for the... So it's just going to be an even wave. Now what's going to happen in this bot side? You can see that Pays and Lehen's actually stay around. They fake recalling, they stay around. Lucian's already backed. So they're going to get a wave crash in. That's going to be a couple of minions lost from Guma. Does that change the amount of gold? What's the buy going to be from Pays now? So we've got Kerchies and Longsword. What's Pays going to be able to get back on this recall? Does he get a full Noon Quiver? Boots. Boots too. That's really good versus Lucian, actually. Especially Lucian. One second. I'm just going to check what's happening with this door. Turns out it was a package for a neighbor. Alright, folks. Sorry about that. We'll get into it. Get into it once again. So, where were we? Yeah, so Boots 2, very good versus Lucian Nami. We've already seen how when you have stuff like Calibrum, Aphelios can just about outrange, and you can kind of space things out. And Pei's spacing in this lane has been very, very good. I really want to praise Pei's and Lehens for, like, brawling with Goomer and Carrier, but also, like, playing their spacing very precisely, so you, don't get, like, the best damage out. Because if Goomer and Carrier get more poke in this laning phase, this game is very, very difficult. Owen is still on bot side. They spot him doing Dragon. By the way, Rel is one of the best Dragon stealing champions in the game. He just leashes it as well. Okay, Aphelios comes straight back off of back, goes towards Dragon here as well. So even if this came down to a smite fight, Pei's would have come in as well at the right kind of timing to respond to that. So really well coordinated from Canyon to be on the bot side as the bot lane comes back. Faker's looking for his first recall of the game. He has teleport, so this isn't really going to change. I know that Chobi's going to stop a couple of backs here, because, like, when you hop over the wall, you see the return pad, and you know it's going to be just over that wall. It's not really anything that big. Null Magic Mantle here is kind of annoying. Faker needs to really justify this LeBlanc pick now, though, because you don't have something like a Shinsao or a Lee Sin that's going to be jumping forwards and, like, getting huge damage. Like, Jarvan needs to be setting up for someone else. He's quite bursty, but not got great overall, like, dueling potential. Not really in this game. Oh, is this his win streak on LeBlanc? That's 16 games on the trot. So Faker's going to get himself a recall on pretty... I mean, oh yeah, whatever. Pause. Get through that. Cool, back to it. Because this was pre-recorded as well, that might have been a longer pause, we just don't know. We just don't know. I think it's so important that... So, also another thing too here, right? I know we've been talking about how bot lane has been largely kind of like... We've talked about how Pei's and Lehens have kind of survived the laning phase. That's actually really important, because how many times have you seen Goomer and Carrier just explode laning phase? They're even in bot, which is fine. That's fine. But considering where it could be, and the fact that also that when you have the triple tonic on Aphelios as well, it gets you towards, like, your... Because in this game, you're going to be going lethality second in terms of the stats you get from Aphelios. For those that you don't know, when you level up on Aphelios, you don't level up an ability. You level up one of 3 stats. You have attack damage, you have attack speed, and then you have lethality. Because of the changes to lethality, it is very, very nice. And then also, you know, that's a very good call as well. Anders in chat. Both of these guys are running double Scorch. They're running double Scorch between the two of them, which means that the early lane poke is very, very dangerous. The fact that Pei's and Lehens have survived the onslaught of Carrier and Goomer is very, very good for Genji. Faker's teleporting back to lane, Darksteel and Lost Chapter. This is important. If you're on a snowballing mid-champion, I say this for Ahri all the time, it applies to LeBlanc as well. Darksteel is a very cheap win condition. If you end up buying it before your first big fight of the game, you get a kill and assist, you get 3-4 stacks, something like that. You can really start popping things off. Bot lane has a decent amount of control. Canyon can maybe jump over the wall. He's mounted up again, that's fine. Good steal from him. But also, look what he's doing here as well. So this is huge, by the way. Control ward in here means that you can't... whenever Faker is going for these raptor wards, they'll be spotted out. And if he clears this ward as well, they'll know he's likely left a ward behind. And also, when Canyon invades, put a ward down into the enemy jungle. There's one in Triburst still. How many wards has T1 got on the other side of the jungle? Not that many. How many wards has Carrier been able to put down on the map? Not that many. Big thing about Pei's and Lehens surviving this laning phase, and the fact that Carrier is on... you know, a support that can't put wards down unless you're super far ahead. They don't have the jungle tracking. Look how many red wards Genji has. That is a great bubble, though, actually. Just as I say that. Oof, after all the good work they've done, fantastic double bubble. Double Scorch comes through, but they have the heal and barrier, so they can trade back a little bit. They don't trade back anything, actually. Level 6 hit. Ooh, that was nasty, actually. Really good double bubble. So now, this is a huge point in the game. This is a huge point in the game, actually. Goomer and Carrier have been really shoved in for most of this game. Can they use this moment to get something out on the map? Clear out vision, get some jungle tracking done. They're getting some done. How many sweepers have they got? They don't have a sweeper. That's annoying for them. If they had a sweeper up and available, that would be so big. They finally get some push in the bot side. Okay. But while all of this is happening, Jarvan is shown bot side, and because they don't have wards in the top side, and this pink ward also means that they know that Faker has not been over into this side of the jungle too. They know that this is great. This is great. This is a multi-part thing. I actually think Gen G are doing this very intelligently, by the way. So you have 2 wards here, which shows there's no presence from. I mean, obviously Fake's in lane right now, but they know that no one has been top side. They know that anyone has put. If you know that no one has been topside, you know that no one has dropped wards. You have 2 wards here, you have a ward here. You can see that there is a blue ping on red buff because they think that maybe Canyon's on camps rather, but they don't see him on them. And that means that because Canyon skips camps and he slips, he's completely off of vision, he's free to go in here. Keen can pop Ghost and go for all out as well. There is a real threat on topside here. Gen G have they've denied T1 direct information. And Zeus thinks that, they're pinging that he's on red buff. Look at the blue side vision. They don't have vision on top side. They have nothing. And because Zeus has overpushed the wave, and he's trying to stack out his cult, free kill. Death onto Zeus, bad times. But this is because Gen G had this defensive vision. This is so cool. It's not important in this gang because they see that Jarvan is bot side anyway. That's fine. They don't need topside vision to spot Jarvan. They need topside vision here to make sure that they know that no wards have been put into their jungle. It's kind of a flowchart, right? If you know that the enemy team doesn't know that you're there, you can make much more aggressive plays. If you're kind of umming and ahhing, maybe you don't make that play and you just go back to your camps in the same way. So very intelligent from the entire top side of Gen G to make sure that they know that they're off vision. You play the game so differently when you're off vision. And that's huge, because as we said, any kills into Jason laning phase are so huge. So even though there's a CS lead and there's a plate down as well, Canyon done such a good. He's done such a good job there, and he takes away 2 grubs as well. Or rather, T1 took 1 of the initial spawn away earlier, but yeah. I mean, Jace had a ward ready. Terrible for him for not ward river brush himself. The thing is, if you're against Cassante, Cassante can freeze waves very hard, and also, as Jace, you need to get all poke you can at all times. You can argue, yes, he should have put down the ward himself. I didn't see, because we don't have pro view, we don't get to see if he had a break in the waves to go put a ward down. Because if he could have put a ward onto, if he could go deep enough to do something like a ward onto Krugs. So for instance, this is why Udyr is so super broken, by the way. If Udyr can push in beyond the wave, he can go put a ward onto, he can go this kind of path and walk straight back in towards his lane here as well. And he can drop some key wards. If he has 1 ward available, or if he has a pink ward, you can drop 1 onto around Krugs or somewhere around here. You can drop 1 onto red side around here. And then you can do that kind of thing. Jace can't do that, because if Cassante pops Ghost and just runs at him, it's a big issue. Jace needs to be ahead of the Cassante in terms of health to make sure that Cassante can never evenly fight back. It's why you go for the Conqueror as well. You're just looking to permanently brawl against the Cassante. But still, yes. And now there is a ward there now too. And this time he does have flash, so he does put it down this time. How does Canyon get around this? So he's spotted this time. He puts a ward when it's crashing in now. Jace is on top side. And he's spotted now. He stops for a play. Does he die for Los Platos? Does he really die for Los Platos? Are you kidding me? And he doesn't flash out of that? He doesn't have phase rush as well. It's a bad flash, Zeus. That's a bad flash. So, I think he dies for Los Platos. So, put it this way, right? So this is what's happening here. So if he was even, because he just stopped for his hypercharger for the increased attack speed onto towers, right? So he just did that there. If he had stopped half a second earlier, he'd be here. So we'll just draw a small arrow when it gets to the next part of this play, right? So now he's running away. He doesn't have boots. You have tier 2 boots on the side of Keen, who's just come back into lane with that too. Wait, does he get the acceleration gate on himself as well? Does he not use the acceleration gate on himself? Does he get it on his feet? So he gets the acceleration gate. That's fine. So he gets part of the move speed. He gets move speed from changing form as well. Changes again for extra move speed. Now imagine he is here. Just a little bit further. And we'll just see how that works. So he tries to backstep. That's fine. He gets slowed either way. He doesn't flash out, and then he gets slowed by the Q. He's a little bit... While this... Hang on. So, by the way... Oh, man. Because if he was a little further this way, there's a chance that Keen is not in range for that Q. Yeah. I think Zeus died for Los Platos. Flashes... Because he knows that if he flashes... If he gets hit by the Cassante W and gets shunted back that way, he's 100% dead. I think he's hoping that he can, like, mind game Keen, so he W's backwards while he flashes over him. But that one is on Zeus. I think the first one, fantastic play from Genji. Second one is Lost Platos. And he dies for a plate. And then Keen gets to go back for another kill. And now suddenly, what were we saying? Well, how does T1 lose this game? Hyper gank through topside. And the way that Genji lose this game is by, like, just allowing T1's lanes to get ahead. And that would have been, you know, winning lane for Jace. If they'd played badly in bot side, I think the Lucian Nami could have gotten ahead. I think the way that they've survived that is great laning play from Pays and Lehens. Even though that doesn't mean that they're ahead in lane. It just stops Goomer and Kerry being just like a one-man army, which can happen in a lot of games. We know how good they are from ahead. But then just through superb topside vision, you can see how Jace kind of gets isolated. And while all of this is happening, I don't even think this is necessarily... I mean, Owner tried to show up bot, but he was on vision. What could Owner do at this point, right? What happens while he's dying here? Because I know we focus on this in terms of Canyon. He's on Wolves. Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a disconnect between Owner and Zeus, right? I think here, Zeus shouldn't die here. Realistically, he shouldn't die here. Canyon has ult, I guess. That's a pretty bad hammerback as well. Yeah, Canyon has ult. He could overkill here. But even then, I think he ends up dying for plates. It's a bad flash. He stays a little too long. I also think maybe stopping for the Q behind him as well doesn't help. Because he's not realistically looking to kill these two, so the actual shock blast on them doesn't help. But while all this is happening, you know, Owner is not here to cover topside. I think maybe because he thinks Zeus should be safe. While he's here, he's trying to help bot side, maybe look for a dive. Because he's level 6 as well. There's no... Yeah, because if you look here, I mean, I don't know. When you've got Lulu, well, it's really hard to dive this bot lane as well. And if you... I don't know what guns Pays has, but if he has Severin ult, the red one, the healing one, it's very hard to dive that as well, especially since you don't have an ignite. You're looking for Faker to come out of lane as well. Is there an argument where Faker should have been going into the enemy jungle to check this? Oh, that's a bit of a stretch, because then you give up position to the Corki. See, it's a lot of push and pull, right? Good shield. Would anything be different if it was Poppy jungle? I think yes. Because Poppy can go very aggressively into the enemy jungle, run phase rush on the jungle as well, go for very bursty trades, get a phase rush and run out. Corki can't jump over the wall. Well, Corki doesn't have the early damage to help you in the mid jungle 2v2 as well. And then later into the game, I think you can eject the like, you can either force the Cassante W in a bad spot, or you can force out the front line and leave these guys like really, really exposed. I think Poppy is a fantastic early game champion, and I know that they do pick in a game too. I did see that draft, and bits of the gameplay as well. I think that Poppy... I think people really underestimate how Poppy can get in and out of a jungle with ease, really. Even though you don't have the flag drag to, like, get over walls and stuff, I think that the phase rush after, like, your aggressive plays is really, really nasty. Okay. So what's happening here? What the hell's happened here? So we've got vision control again from Genji working really well. They've managed to keep up this Raptor pink ward as well. And look how little info... How many times have I reviewed T1 and talked about how good information they have on the enemy jungle? They don't have that. They've been... I think Genji's lanes are playing really well to stop T1 from getting huge advantages. And I think that's changed the way that T1 play. They're not used to playing without jungle information. They're not getting any of these wards in. Even with someone like LeBlanc, who's one of the best early warders in the game from mid lane, because you can just hop over walls and hop back so easily. Bot has been sitting under turret the whole game. Poppy can't gank bot and can't go solo into jungle. You can do with mid-jungle TV2 though. And if you have mid-jungle TV2 winning, you get vision onto both sides of the map and you stop Canyon doing anything. And it means that Zeus is then like... Then you have complete information on where the jungler is and you can play more aggressively as a bot lane. Nami tidal wave. Ooh, doesn't get the smite steal. That's annoying. If you manage to get that dragon, you delay the timer a little bit, but that's hard. You shouldn't be having to delay the timer in this kind of game. Because T1 wants to be ahead of the game. That's a problem, folks. That's a problem. Yeah, and Rel's one of the best objective securers in the game because of an EQ combo. I think a lot of people forget that. Like, the amount of damage that the Rel's doesn't have consistent damage against monsters. But oh my god, she has burst damage against them.
뭐 영향력도 정말 잘 뻗쳐나갈 수 있는 현재 캐년의 준비 상황이 됐군요. 이렇게 되면 T1의 최근 경기에서 봤었던 그런 폭발력 쉽지 않아 보이는데요.
그렇죠. 루시안이 1코어가 먼저 뜬 시점을 잘 활용해야 되는데.
Okay, finally gets an option to like open up with the ult.
너무 잘 흘리고 있어요.
Not bad. And poke tends to stick in Lucian and Nami lanes as well because they continually force fights against you.
시간이 정말 많이 생긴 겁니다.
Why are they picking Lucian and Nami this patch? Because they are very, very good at Lucian and Nami. Think about the amount of games which they've just slaughtered through laning phase, folks. They are very, very good at like just taking early poke. And again, just look back to the early lane. So many ways that Paze could have just got chunked out, but just ends up outplaying it. Now and again, right now, this is T1 playing without the jungle information that they need. Also, you don't have a top laner that can teleport to this kind of play. I mean, Jace is never going to help in these early fights. It's a Jace. Maybe it'd be different if you had an Aatrox or a Cassandra yourself. Maybe even a Nuda. Good teleport from Chovy. And they've already... yeah. Oh, Zeus, buddy, you can't walk up like that. So he goes forward for the level up, does he? Because he kills the minions for the level up, I think. Oh no, he doesn't even hit level up. How close is he to that? Is he... wait, he's a full level... oh my god, he died at... by the way, Zeus died at level 9. You see the XP bar down here. He's almost level 11. This is like a full level up onto Zeus. Jeez. Those two early kills have massively accelerated Keen's lane. And he has an Iceborne and tier 2 boots and Ghost. Why does Zeus jump forward like that? Plus also, one of the things is that Jarvan can get... let's try and conservatively estimate that Jarvan can get like this much of Casante's HP. I don't know whether he's got W still up. If he has W, then it's much less than that because it's very easy to invulnerable the Jarvan damage. So what does he do here? Oh, nasty. The E forward into the Q hit. Ugh. And now Ona... yeah, this is the thing. Like, look how little damage Jarvan does. Jarvan is not a high damage jungler. So how does this start? How does this start? So while the teleport's happening bot side, Ona thinks we have to cross map top side. So Zeus and Keen... I think what Zeus is doing is just trying to make sure that there can't be a teleport from Keen. Maybe because they... when does he start fighting? When does he start? I'm just looking on the minimap to see when they start fighting. So... no, Keen's the one that heads forward. So Keen is just there to maybe just stop Zeus teleporting. So maybe Zeus could teleport down to the bot lane turret and get some extra damage down or something. But then what you can see that Cassante W has been used here because he just shunted him forwards. But Jarvan just doesn't have damage. Jarvan is not a high damage champion in early game. He's good against squishies, not great against tanks. As soon as Jarvan has to play against tanks, he just sucks. Oh man, he has to fly Drake out as well. But all of this starts, again, reminder that all of this starts from the fact that T1 have not had great coverage of jungle vision. Now, Canyon has been really threatening T1 the whole time. And also, this will show in the laning phase too, by the way. So, when I'm talking about how, you know, the bot lane laning phase, you can say that maybe, you know, this didn't go as well as it could have done. And then we're saying, well, you know, what could the Poppy do that the Jarvan didn't and stuff? The fact that if you had something like a Poppy, and then you'd also manage to get better kind of jungle coverage from that, Poppy can walk into the enemy jungle. And though Poppy is not great at ganking this lane, Poppy's awful versus Aphelios Lulu. Really not good against them. You can at least get eyes on the Rel to make sure that these two can play like psychos, and they can just play really aggressively. Because Goomer and Kerry have had to play with a bit of reserve, and they've also, in fairness, been outplayed a little bit in the 2v2 as well. You kind of have to give that to Paze in the hands. We've given a couple examples for it. It's been a hard game for them. T1 have not been able to play with, like, the reckless... well, I'm not going to say reckless opponent. No, that's their challenge team. Haha. They've not been able to play as aggressively as they normally do. I think that Zeus was very... it was a pretty slim punish for the second death. The first one was great by Genji. I think that was on Genji making a good play. Second one, I think Zeus was a bit over-ambitious with how he took plates at turret. So they've just used their culling to try and chunk them out. I mean, Paze just has Gravitum, so it's a great setup there. I mean, this is a really nice play from Genji. Again, they're just making use of the fact that they have vision advantage. If Carrier gets sick, maybe they'll play recklessly. Yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah. Keen is so far ahead at this time that, I mean, what is... Jace is not a champion. This is an individual mistake by Zeus. That's realistically not getting you anything with that Q. So that's a freebie. But the game is already very hard at this point, right? So I'm actually just going to speed the game up. And now you can see, because you have... So you've got Shiv on Aphelios too, which means you just perma-push. I don't even mind... Do I mind Shiv? Do I mind Shiv?
그래서 챔피언 구조상 그 상태가 크면 안 되는 거였는데 지금 이미 너무 많이 커버렸어요. 그렇죠.
Because what happens with Shiv is it just means that you're permanently pushed back. And it means that you can't get vision. So I think getting good priority versus T1 is very, very powerful against them. Because if you ever get vision to T1, they're the most creative team in the world. And they lane incredibly well. So they're very good at finding 1v1s. They're very good at making power plays as soon as they get vision control. So something like the Shiv, stylistically against a team like T1, I somewhat understand it. Even though I don't like Shiv for the actual like stats it's giving Aphelios. The fact that it takes away, I mean, this is important though. This is important because look at these line of wards just here. So there is now some T1 vision towards the bot side of the map. Problem is, they're already 2k down in early game. And you've got a Hex Drinker here, and this matchup is dead. This matchup is so dead, actually. Yeah, this is... So T1 now have themselves a pocket of vision. Realistically, what can they do with that, though? Jace is safely farming on top side. That's fine. Oh, yeah, true, actually. It's the same reason... So Shiv, similar reason for the Hurricane that we used to see in earlier seasons as well. Very true. With Shiv, because you wave clear more easily, you can serve your bullets, so you can choose to keep your weapons longer. It's a nice extra thing. It's not really going to break the character. Okay, Faker finds Lehens. And they do have the pocket division on the bot side. Okay, so what's happening here? So Lehens is trying to just put down some walls. This is, by the way, this is why Lulu is worse at warding than someone like a Rakana or Nautilus or something. You are kind of... I think this is right. This is the correct play from Faker. You have yourself a pocket of vision on bot side. It's kind of died out a little bit. You see Chovy on the wave. You're just trying to stop vision... You're trying to contest the vision control as it's happening. Double sigil trade. Ah, good redemption, though. Oh, come on. Oh, no, it's double chain trade, actually. Oh, come on. Why is Lulu that tanky, man? That's like a full combo from an assassin with full magic pen. Stupid ass supports. Why don't you get one shot like you did on Season 3? I mean, Jarvan's not on the map. Lucian Nami doesn't... Could Lucian Nami have followed earlier? So Lucian... I wonder whether because you know that Chovy is bot and Lehens is here, I wonder whether Nami could have roamed down more aggressively right here in this window. Lucian has ult. He has 1.5 items. Yeah, you know what? I actually think that right now T1's bot lane should be moving more aggressively towards bot side because you have eyes on 2 members on bot side and another on top side for Keen as well. Yeah, Lucian Nami should have roamed quicker down here. Because I think this is their time to fight. I guess the problem is that you don't want to get teleported on by Keen, and Zeus, if he stops the teleport, he dies.
All we are is incompetent.
And now the problem is because you've moved late and you're trying to like move through... So you can see what's happening with Nami, right? They're moving through the same path that Lehens just did to try and clear out some vision using the sweeper. They don't even get the 2 wards at the end of it too, because they have to return towards mid lane. Chovy gets bot lane out of turret because of this too. I think that Goomer and Carrier maybe should have pathed more aggressively into bot side jungle there. Ona has to play into double tanks in Canyon and Keen, so he doesn't even have great value into like bursting out a Lee Sin or something like that. Lily has ult and flash. Yeah, she does, but when you have the Lucian, if you have to ult and flash backwards for yourself, then that's a huge mistake. I'm just going to close my window a little bit. It's getting light on my screen. In the bad way, it means I can't see anything. So Dragon is up. Genji were doing all of this vision control for bot side anyway, and because Lehens gets out with just blowing the ult, and you can see that Chovy took bot side turret, gets to recall, get some extra items and turn back onto the map. Genji are on a huge advantage for this fight. So they have like Chovy on like full buy at this point. Does he have package? He has package as well. Great chunk onto Lens. Great chunk onto Lens. Now the problem is, this isn't a melee support. This is actually normally the opposite problem, right? Paprika, by the way, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. And Vlad Dracula. Even though Lehens is low HP, you can kind of just, you have heal, and even though you don't have ults, you can still buff up Pays. You just stand behind the battle line, you don't have to full reset, and that's actually okay. Keen's at the fight as well, and now the problem is, this is a huge difference maker as well. Keen is just so much more useful than Zeus right now, because Zeus was put behind. And that was because of the vision control. Zeus isn't even here in time for this fight right now. Faker's on the flank. Chovy has Hex Drinkers, that's pretty big. Okay, Goomer actually cleanses out of that. That's not a great combo by Canyon. What happens to him? Let's just... Does Zeus put down his acceleration gate for Goomer as well? Does it hit him? No, the acceleration gate's for himself. Okay, good tidal wave. Very good reactions from T1. But Chovy, great reaction up here as well. Because Chovy has Hex Drinker, he can absolutely take this fight against Faker. So Faker can't go in and go for a last-minute assassination. Really well played by Chovy. But the reason this fight... It's so hard, right? Because you are playing effectively in a 4v5. Even though Jace has, like, almost 2 items, this Jace just doesn't get to be at the fight first. Doesn't get to do any damage to the front line. Oof. Oh, wow. Close from Keen, actually. Because that slow could have chomped up into the big one. The big one goes wide and the Q doesn't do enough as well. Okay, Zeus managed to get a turret. That's good. That's something. When does it take... How long will it take Zeus to get relevant, though? Because he's not really going to be side laning. How much does he do in this fight? Because he has to throw a Shock Blast into, like... Who does he hit with the Shock Blast here? He hits Keen. Doesn't really do that much. Pays gets out of the tidal wave. He managed to throw an ult into the fight as well. Chovy manages to just shut down Faker. And this is the kind of fight where you just wish that Faker was on something like an Azir. Because if you're on an Azir at this point, you can kind of like shuffle, you can shuffle someone into the fight, or you have better consistent DPS. Also another thing too is, I just wish Faker had played Ahri in this first game. I think Ahri is much better at like playing for early game snowball right now. I think LeBlanc's not in a great spot. Oh wait, Faker goes out off of vision though. Okay, so Faker's just trying to like do some smoke and mirrors and get some information for his team. But it's a full more on Chovy. Chovy does not even care about face checking Faker anymore. He's a level up and he's got a full more. Ona has Sundered Sky, so he's half tanky, but he's not tanky enough. The damage from Aphelios and Corki is absolutely absurd. And because you're not very tanky and you've had to go for Merc Treads as well, because you're against like heavy CC here, means that because you're going for Collector here and you're going to max lethality second, it will be maxed out by level 12 instead of level 13 as well because of triple tonic. Pays is going to have a boatload of lethality and he will shred you. So Pays will soon become the most damaging person on the Rift as soon as he finishes the Collector, I feel. Even though he didn't go for a Kraken Slayer first or something like that. Carol goes into mid lane. Miguel, thanks for the follow, I appreciate it. Okay, Keen can walk out with this. He just uses the W. And you just papered. You're so papered. The lethality from Pay... Let's just slow this down and see how quickly he dies here, actually. Because this is meant to be the tankiest person on the Rift for T1. Let's just... Okay, so he's already at 2/3. What happens here? He starts at... How much HP? He's on about 80%. 80% HP. So he's trying to be somewhat tanky, try and reach the backline. Maybe he can get himself up there. So a big one hits him. Shock Blast hits onto the Lehens. It's not onto someone like Pays. So he gets the ult in. Immediate CC from Keen. Blop, blop, blop. Blop. One auto, two autos from Pays effectively kill him. And then with a little bit, with damage coming from Chovy as well. In the space of 2 autos, he just absolutely just explodes. There's zero... Yeah, no, you're completely right, Archpolar. There is no durability on the side of T1. And that makes things really, really bad when you're looking towards trying to play... towards like these bursty fights, because you just inevitably lose the damage trade at this point. When you have... You know, the damage is online here. But the thing is, Gen G, they can... Even when T1 hit their damage points, right? When they hit when they hit like 1 item, 2 items, Keen and Canyon can stand against them and just say, we don't care, because we've hit our tank items and it will buy enough time for our backline to do more damage to you. And you can see that in that fight. Let's just go back a little bit more again. Let's see how much damage that Goom is doing at the same time. Because he's... So what's happening here? So Guma gets a couple of autos on a Canyon. Look how little damage Guma does to Canyon. Look how little damage he does there. Like, what do you do against a tank frontline that's so far ahead? Mid-gap was actually crazy this series. I mean, this LeBlanc can't do... I think that Faker did good vision control early, but, like, I don't see what LeBlanc does in this draft. Like, this is a really... I think LeBlanc is a bad champion right now. And I also think that, like, this is, like... Yeah, LeBlanc is a bad champion in this draft. And I also feel like, you know... He didn't really find options onto the... He almost got one kill onto Lehens, I guess. That was like as good as it gets. So you've just taken a loss around 20 minutes. So Baron's spawned. Genji forced the group around the Herald. And they get to reset for free. So they've managed to kind of like... This is a big concept in League as well. Think about the last time that T1 got to move out their own side of the map. They've managed to briefly push up top side. They walked into bot side very briefly. But they've had no time on this part of the map. Now, if you manage to keep T1 pinned into their side of the map for, let's say, a minute and a half, 2 minutes, every single vision ward in the areas of the map which they couldn't visit, which is everywhere up here, will have died. If you keep someone pinned in an area of a map for long enough, only the control wards will live. So if you clear out them, you're completely fine. You don't even need a sweeper to check that out. So T1, yeah, you can see how little options they have right now. This Lucian isn't snowballed, was held down in laning phase by Pays and Lehens just doing very well in a straight 2v2. And then Zeus got ganked a lot as well because the vision control from Genji and the mind games they played with vision control was very, very effective. 240 hours as well, by the way. Thanks for the follow, appreciate it. God damn, the damage to frontline is so different. I don't like this Jarvan. I think this Jarvan and the LeBlanc does nothing. I think if you'd gone like... I think Poppy would have been better. I think that, hell, even someone like a Lee Sin to snowball bot side could have been better as well. But even then, that might have been quite risky. I think that something like a Poppy would have been better from jungle. I think that Ahri would have been better from mid. Ahri Poppy's not fantastic as a duo. You could have gone Ahri Viego, maybe. Ahri Viego could have been okay, but then you've... It's not great. The Viego's not fantastic even then. Look how little damage Goom is doing. So what do you do? So once again, Genji are just pinning T1 to lanes. They're not allowing them to move anywhere. Faker has some room to maneuver in bot side. Baron's live though, so you can't even stay overly long in bot side of the map. Yeah, Lee Sin LeBlanc is an okay combo as a mid jungle. I just think, what does LeBlanc do to the front line here? LeBlanc does not kill tanks, ever. Like, LeBlanc is not a tank killing champion. Ahri's not a tank killing champion either, honestly. I just don't like this mid jungle combo from T1. I think the champions are really just not powerful right now. I think Jarvan's kind of meh. I think that LeBlanc's kind of meh. And you can tell that they weren't able to get into the enemy jungle to, like... Well, not enough. Actually, Faker did manage to get some vision control in early game, and I think that was okay. Oh, shit. Just spilled Red Bull over my mouse. Oopsies. Oh, one sec. Should be okay. It's not gone too deep over it. It's fine. Only a little bit. It's fine. Just my mouse might smell of energy drink for a day or two. Hoping that's okay. Should be okay. Oopsies. Oh, hang on. Did I just wreck my mouse? No, I should be okay. Oopsies, Red Bull on my mouse. Red Bull on my mouse. Wait, hang on. God. Can anyone tell how long we were into the game? Jesus. Was it around here? Yeah, it was actually around here. Hey, I think we completely eyeballed it, by the way. Okay, back to here then. Was it here? Was this the right spot? This sounds about right. Yeah. So Baron's up. Dragon's coming up. Oops. Should really probably get my... Yeah, should probably get that away from my mouse. Probably not very helpful. That's fine. Okay, I distracted myself. Canyon's been playing Rel, Sejuani, building support items all split.
I mean, that's just LCK jungle meta. I think that LPL has been playing more carry jungles because the game's more kind of choppy and it allows them to kind of like more scrappy. And it allows them to kind of like take over the game more with kind of like opportunist skirmishes rather than the more setup fights. I think LPL teams have struggled to set up fights in the same way. Okay. See even here as well that every time LeBlanc jumps in now, especially down the front of the fight, it's very hard to actually get trades off without getting traded back onto. Like LeBlanc never wants to be Groots with a team like this. LeBlanc doesn't want to be here. What LeBlanc wants to be doing is like be stood. I mean, when against package, it's different. Like you really want to have like LeBlanc on the side here, over a wall over here, or something like that, right? LeBlanc doesn't want to be stood with a team like this. She wants to be on the flank doing something more useful, bluntly. Okay, so we get something over the wall there onto Chovy. So this is Soul point, remember, folks. This is Soul now. So slow this down. So what are you looking for here? The tank frontline from Genji is absolutely absurd. Like, it doesn't matter if you'd, like, put every bit of damage into them. Dodges that on the tidal wave so he doesn't have to blow his W as well. It does end up hitting Pays. That's nice. That's a decent combo. But while all that's happening, like, Owner is looking for a steal, but he's going in completely alone. Look how separated he is. And again, this champion is not tanky. He's not tanky. While that's happening, Gume also gets tagged by the end of that package too. So he's going to get burned down. He has Flash and he has E. Gume needs to immediately Flash. You cannot afford to get hit by that package. Look how much damage he gets taken. Like, that's like a rocket, an auto, and then package. Jesus Christ, that's so much damage. Basically, all this 1800 is to Gume Yushi, by the way. Oh, man. So Keen gets right on top of Owner, which forces Owner into the pit because he can't afford to leave the dragon. Yeah. This Soul is where the game ends, right? You're already not killing the front line. Now you're actually healing them by being in combat with them. Yeah. Oh, man. Chovy catching Guma there is... Let me just look at how... Like, the front line of Genji is so obnoxious in this fight. Lehens is never threatened. He's on... Whenever Lulu is, like, not threatened in a fight as well, weirdly, because normally you don't think about supports in that regard, but if Lulu is untouched in a fight, she gets to do a load too. So she's not really affected here. She gets to buff up Pays. Pays gets to have, like, a load of healing. That's a heal, a barrier, and a shield. Guma actually gets good damage into Pays. But then, like, because he's stepped out of position to do that... Wait, what does Pays even do? I mean, Pays just, like, immediately turns and burns onto Owner and just kills him. Like, Pays doesn't have to do that much. Faker now has no cooldowns as well. Wait, Faker used his cooldowns onto Chovy just before this. So Faker has no basic cooldowns. So he can't even, like, jump in and flash to kill Pays or something like that. If he has all of his cooldowns, he can just sit. He can sit here. He can flash over here, maybe, and maybe just give his life to kill Pays. Or maybe even just... He might even be lucky enough to get W over here. Flash in this direction, then QE. QE auto, get an electrocute. He's not fed enough to kill that, I don't think. Let's go back a little bit further. So Owner is just waiting to see when this goes down. They use the blue trinket to track the dragon HP. Faker and Tidal Wave going at the same time. Faker jumps back so he can't get auto attack too much. The Tidal Wave, though, is dodged out. If Keen is caught here with the Tidal Wave, he has to spin up his W and then probably W backwards. Because the Tidal Wave is trying to hit both Keen and it's trying to hit these two. Because Kerry is trying to go for, like, the gold standard ult, where you hit the front line and the back line in one big line. Keen gets to dodge out of it because Carrier aims it towards the back line as well, and it means that he can dash forward instead of channeling a W here, and then he gets the Q3 onto Owner, and Owner is caught up. He's then he has to go in. Like, the only way this is a winning play is if he gets the Dragon Steel. So he immediately goes in here and just says, well, screw it, let's see if we can get something onto Chovy. If he goes through, there's no point going through the Unstoppable Cassante and doing something onto the front line. You got to go onto the squishy target here. So because the Tidal Wave misses onto Keen, because Kerry is trying to hit everyone, in fairness, that is what you should do as Nami. That's actually not that's what you should do. I'm not blaming Kerry. That's what you should do. It means that Keen gets to step down, Owner gets caught, and he just gets immediately one shot. What's Zeus doing in this fight too? I haven't really watched from his perspective.
Does he get... Wait, do they both get killed by... Oh, he just channels his W? Oh, then Keen goes up towards that as well. Yeah, that's really well played from Keen. He, like, gets a double, like, mini shunt onto his Zeus and carrier. That allows him to get the all out. Lahens gets to get the wild growth onto him as well. Jeez, what a good fight from Genji, actually. They put T1 into so many bad positions there. And also, while all this is happening as well, like, Chovy gets a massive pick onto Goomer as well. The fact that he tags him with the package is absolutely insane. So now you have massive gold disadvantage. There's Baron going over as well. Huge gold lead. 2 items going on to 3 items now being hit from Genji as well. Keen absolutely smurfs this fight. Forces owner to go in, punts the backline, gets it all out onto Zeus as well. Keen does so well here, actually. How well has Keen played this game? Really well played in the laning phase, kind of picking up some opportunistic moments onto Zeus, and frontlining like an absolute beast. Keen is so good. I really want to see JDG versus Genji, or Top Esports versus Top Esports versus Genji, rather. Because I think JDG are a very good team fighting team. But I want to see Top Esports versus Genji, because 369 versus Keen would be such a good matchup. It's such a crime that we didn't see JDG Genji last year. That would have been so good. That would have been so good, man. And now you've got really late game carries from Genji with XP advantages, item advantages. Faker's had to go for Crypto Boom second. Crypt Bloom. Pays is ahead in his build as well. Like, yeah. This is looking a little bit doomed for T1. And, like, I really want to impress here. I think that Genji played this game well. I think there were some mistakes from T1. I didn't like the draft. I don't think it's perfect. But, like, I don't want to use that to take away from Genji. I think the bot lane phase was fantastic. I think their vision control was really good. I think their front lining and team fights has been really, really good. And I think that, you know, I think there were some laning phase mistakes from T1. I think that both Goomer and Zeus had some awkward moments. I think that Faker really struggled to get into the game after the game didn't snowball early. I don't even think that Faker made egregious errors. Like, there's just, what do you do as the LeBlanc when you're not snowballed in this game? That's, yeah, you don't kill tanks. Major items don't kill tanks right now. Okay. So actually, that's some... Oh, he hops back. That's really bad. That one's not great from Faker. So he gets hit by the Q3. Whatever. You still have W. You can get out safe. So he hits with a chain. He does a second chain here. Goes for a full combo. But while that full combo is going through, Canyon steps back out of an army ult just about. As soon as it's passed, immediately goes in. And Faker flips back, so it's a 3-man into that as well. Chovy goes forward for a huge 3-person, and Pays gets an Inferno ult with the full lethality on top of it as well. Jesus Christ, that's such a destructive combo. Insane catch from Canyon there. Canyon had a great game. I think Canyon had a great game at kind of picking off T1's mistakes in positioning. Good game. Honestly, a good game. Like, Canyon is great. Canyon had a fantastic game. I think... Who would be my MVP from this game? Canyon or Keen, I think. Chat, who would you give it to? Who would your MVP be for that game? You think it's Kasante? I think so too, actually. Oh, no, but it's... I think Keen had a really good game that game. But Canyon's the person that put him ahead. No, it's Canyon, I think. I think it's Canyon. Okay, let's just see who got let's just see who got player of the game. Did they say? Who was the player of the game? Did they say? Do you know where they show it? When do they show it? Mic check. It was... Canyon got MVP? Okay, cool. Right. Okay, right, I'm just gonna go straight into the second game then, because let's keep it roll, folks. Let's keep it rolling. I think that, I mean, even, yeah, Canyon deserves it in a lot of ways, don't get me wrong. But I also think that, like, Keen deserves a shout out because, oh my god, that was like an insane... That was really, really insane, like, Sante frontline performance as well. Okay, so, we have same sides. Important to know that, same sides. So,
Once again, very similar bans. So trying to ban away Pays on a champion which has a laning phase and can survive through to the point where if you misplay a fight, then Zeri just runs you down. You can't afford to lose even like 1 kill in a fight. Because often just like Pays as Zeri will just kind of run you down. And they banned the Aphelios this time. So they're saying, right, okay, we're not going to go against something like a Varus Nautilus. We don't want that. We don't want to go against something like the Zeri lanes. And we don't want to go against Aphelios Lulu as well. So Kalista is still available. You have Kalista, you have Varus Renata. Obviously Lucian Nami is available. So do Genji have another Lucian Nami answer? So they're banning out the Ashe. They don't want to play against like the Ashe Varus or something like that. So they are locking in the Lucian. So what do you have as an answer towards bot lane? What are you locking in? So you know it's the Lucian Nami. You have to lock in one of your bot lane champions now. Is it going to be the Kalista? Now, if you lock in Kalista, that does mean that you have a better angle for the Poppy, which we said wasn't good at ganking bot lane before. But now you have a very good champion in the Kalista to block off, because she hops about a lot. And every single auto attack is a chance for your W to get that stun, and the damage early on is very good from that, and also just keeps you grounded as well. So what do you pair up with it? What do you do as a pot? Do you Kalista Renata? I think the tank frontline of the Rel in the jungle is so good for Canyon. He has early presence, he can be a champion that's hard to pick off. If T1 get a pick onto the Rel, you can just W backwards as well. It's harder to kill someone like that Rel. It means that you can't kind of just take single kill onto Canyon when he's out of position or something. Yeah, I think the Poppy's good. You lock in Poppy Nami here, I think. I think that gives you like a really, really strong bot side 3v3. And also the ability, now, we do need to see Goomer and Carry actually win first few levels of the game if possible. The Renata's coming through, Kalista Renata, so we're just saying, okay, we'll fist fight you. Now what happens with the Renata as well is that even if you get burst onto the Kalista, you can start stacking up Ren stacks, and then after you start getting the bailout ticking down, you stack up as many Ren stacks as you can, rip them out, and hope that is enough to kill. It gives you like an extra 2.5 seconds or so to like get Ren stacks up, so which is normally like 2-3 extra autos, and then the Rend after that too. So that can be very important. So now we're playing on bot side 3v3. They're banning out the Aatrox. I am surprised that T1 chose blue side, unless they just don't want to give over the Lucian themselves. Do they really? I wonder if T1 will start moving to... Well, against Genji, I wonder if they have to counter pick more. I wonder if they have to red side against them. I don't know whether they can blind pick something like the Lucian Nami. Seems like Pays and Lahens have done a really good job of like... We'll see how... I mean, I know that they lose like the overall series. But if Pays and Lahens have multiple answers to the Lucian Nami, the blue side, if you are looking to just secure like the uber winning bot side, I don't think that's as valuable. And T1 ban out one of the top laners, like the front liners in the Cassante. So the Cassante is now like much harder to play around. So you lock in TF, that's so now you get counter pick top laner. You know that this is very likely to be TF into the top lane. Thanks to the follows trig. And uncovering real as well. Spoiler alert, early bit bot TV2 fight hit. Okay, so you're locking in the Talia, you're matching, you know, semi-global for semi-global with the Talia ult from TF ult. Now, the TF ult is much easier to use because you get full vision of the enemy team when you pop it, and then you can choose where you land. The Talia is kind of reacting to the TF a lot in this. So now you've got to try and counter this Twisted Fate. Now, we have seen stuff like Yasuo top be used. I would not mind seeing Yasuo locked in here. I think you can lock in Yasuo. I think you can lock in Yasuo. Because what you can do then, you can have Nami Tidal Wave, which is a knock-up. You have the Poppy ult, which is a knock-up. Technically, you can go off the Poppy E as well, and you can go off the Shunt here too. So then what this means is that you have like a really good side lane winning matchup, which pushes and just like kills to hell. And then if you ever catch these guys in a combo, it is so nasty. Now, I think Yone is actually a losing matchup into TF. We saw that a little earlier because, like, the gold card just means you get traded on really hard. But I think Yasuo, because you can gold card the wind wall, and whenever a wave comes up, you have 6 flashes to close the distance because each minion is a flash. And they lock in Tristana top instead. You've locked in 5 squishies again. Poppy is not that tanky. That's 5 easily killable champions. Gold card into anything is going to be nasty. I think if you weren't against, like, really mobile AD carries, I'd say Hui. I think Hui would be good for Chovy here. Yeah, I think Hui would be good for Chovy here. Because you could, like, lock in gold card and you can, like, get big CC like this, and everyone's really squishy. I think because you're against, like, Talir, he can wall you off. So, I mean, at this point, because you're, like, looking at, you know, the Chovy that can wall you off from a fight if you're not mobile, and the Poppy, which can kind of threaten you too. I actually think you go Ahri here. I think Ahri's good. You've got really good point-and-click CC as well. Because what you're looking to do is kind of, like, have something that can punish squishy champions, be mobile to pick them off as well. You want to be involved in the big combo. If you can start it off as well, that's really big. And then you have just huge, huge threat from every single angle. And it is going to be there. Nice call. So T1 once again. So what do we see now? We'll wait until it's in order and we can have a talk about it, right? So once again, you have a composition from T1 that needs to have good jungle information. If particularly, well, if you have... Well, in this case, it's not even just jungle. If Canyon is off of vision early, and Tristana gets ganked, that is so destructive. So, so bad. Because you're onto TF, I don't even know if you run teleport, or you have to run something like a cleanse. You might just go for a kill lane. If you're running that as well, that means that you've got a global, you have double globals coming in from teleport, or even if he drops it for a combat summoner, like, Exhaust is typically the one you run against Tristana in lane. You still have, yeah, you can go for, like, Ghost or Exhaust maybe, and you can just kind of, like, run out that lane. The problem is, even if if Trist loses lane, then it's bad. But even if she wins lane, then this global comes in and snowballs around the top side of the map. So if you are, I mean, Poppy can maybe escape, but if you're any of these champions across the map, gold card flies over, Rel can get over the wall. Especially if you have flash as well, she's reaching you. Ahri reaches you from in the middle of nowhere. You can fling Renata over the wall. Renata can fire ults over the wall as well. Every single member of Gen G can catch members of T1 if they show up on the Twisted Fate ult out of position. So T1 cannot afford to make mistakes because of this pick. As soon as you get the destiny showing where everyone is on the map, that's so difficult. It's a squishy composition, so Ahri has no worries going for full burst build. Now, I know I really don't like Chovy's Ahri because he builds it badly. He is the best mechanical Ahri player in the world. He's one of the worst builders of it. You know, he's built consistently 0 damage Ahri for years at this point, and on this patch, it would make me not surprised at all if you went for, like, if you went like Merc Treads, I mean, the cooldown boots or whatever, I mean, maybe he goes cooldown boots. But if you went for like Malignance and then to Horizon Focus, which is the lowest damage Ahri build right now, besides like, I mean, Cosmic Drive's pretty bad too. Instead, what you should be building on Ahri, you should be building Lichbane and building a Dark Seal on your first back before that, because it allows you to snowball. And then particularly if you get Lichbane, you have the extra movement speed. You get 8% from Lichbane. You get 10% from Magi's once you've got that over 10 stacks as well. Once you have both of them, 10%, you have 18% movement speed permanently, and that means you absolutely chase down a lot of these players as well. And it allows you to outplay the skill shots. That's how Chovy should be building this. I know he won't. I just want to say that now, just so I can flame him when he gets it wrong. And I say that as a 1.5 to 2 million point Ahri. I have like Ahri merch everywhere here, by the way. Like it's everywhere. Actually, hang on. I'll show you real quick. I'll show you on here. If you look up here. Look at that. Ahri stuff. So much Ahri stuff. It's ridiculous. Oh, even the chair I'm sitting on is an Ahri chair. Okay. So, I'm just saying that I have, like, of all the champions in the world, Ahri is the one thing I have, like, actual credentials for. If you get what I mean. And Ahri is a snowball champion by identity. It's a great match to snowball in. This draft is great for snowballing, but I hate the way that Chovy builds Ahri. He doesn't understand how to snowball the champion effectively. Because he's so good, he gets away with it. All we are is incompetent. But he's not good at building Ahri. And it really frustrates me, because if he built better, he would be by far the best Ahri in the world, I feel. But he's not very good at snowballing it. I think that as it stands, Knight from BLG, he is actually the best Ahri in the world because he knows how to snowball it. Magi's is Ahri's best item. And I think that Lichbane is an item which is being hugely slapped on. Horizon Focus is cheaper, but it is worse in every way than Ahri, for Ahri than Lichbane. Because one of the big things is that immobilizing or CCing does not grant you the passive anymore. You have to hit skill shots outside of 700 range, which is not necessarily something you always do with Ahri. A lot of the time, particularly in games like this, you can look for like dash in, 0 counterplay combos, especially against someone like Tristana. A lot of the time you're trying to like mind game her to press her jump early and then cancel the jump with your charm afterwards. That won't happen at long range all the time. Okay, so enough of me ranting about Ahri right now. Also another mistake as well, you shouldn't run dematerialize as an Ahri. What you see a lot of Ahri's doing right now is doing, in pro play it's always triple tonic and dematerializes. If you go for Scorch and Mana Flow Band, it allows you to go for Lichbane first, which is an incredibly good damaging first item. And it means that particularly in bursty games like this, you get ahead of the damage curve very, very early, which is very, very powerful. So, 2 great wards here from T1 to make sure they can spot the top side, but even with Wolves start... Oh, there's no... Yeah, Smite wasn't used from Canyon just yet. But he is going to stop Owner from getting his second camp. Talia has better level 1 shove than Ahri, but because Chovy hasn't run Scorch or anything, he's not going to be able to trade too hard. Faker can't get out of lane. Owner's not level 3. If he had level 3 and he had the W, then he absolutely wins that trade. Range is buffed to 600 now? No, W is... yeah, if you press W and then you tag backwards, it's okay. But even then, 600 range, I think it's longer than some people think, right? Like, your charm will hit it, like, it's kind of like over half range charm now. I thought it was on 700 range. I thought it was on 700 range. Actually, you know what? Let me just check that. Let me just check that. Because I thought it was... Last time I checked it, actually, this was pretty big. Horizon Focus. Let me just see if this is on him. This thing here. Horizon Focus, wiki. Right now it is... So that's 1400 on that. 600 or more units. You were absolutely right. When will that get changed? So is this on this patch as well? When was the patch change on this, actually? On 14.2. Okay, so it is on this. That's fine. Cool. I'll take the L on that one. 600 range. That makes it a little easier to use, but still. It's, again... Not necessarily something you're always going to be able to use. It's still just worse in all stats. The only thing that it is better than Lichbane is the quicker 2-item spike. But you don't want 2 cooldown items in your build really as Ahri, otherwise you kind of oversaturate your cooldown reduction. You should really be going towards the Lichbane. It's just a much better item on the whole. But thanks for the heads up. I didn't realize it was 600 range now. But yeah, if you listen to any Ahri main, every Ahri main is building Lichbane over Horizon Focus right now. Okay, so Keen has got himself... Again, this Twisted Fate is going to be so huge. Oh, this is another thing too. So we have got... Exhaust, and we have Cleanse. So that means that no global teleports from summoners. But we do have the gate still from Keen. So that's going to be very important. So there's an extra global advantage from top lane from Genji. And because this Tristan is not playing from mid lane, much harder for them to work those out. Onus still doesn't have himself level 3. It sucks. Zeus has himself... Wait, what's he going to do here? Did they just stack up for a double knockup? Guys... Okay. So they get Scuttle Crab. Oh, hang on. So they get Scuttle Crab, but what do they lose for it? So Faker hasn't won the early... Well, he recalls in mid as they're going for this player there. Whereas Chovy sticks around. So he shoves in a wave. But while they're fighting with this, Faker's not here in time to make this play. Zeus gets hits by the knockup. This is one of the reasons why Poppy is better than Jarvan in some situations like this, right? Because if he'd used Flak and Drag here, he wouldn't have the Phase Rush or W or something like that to run out. Obviously, he didn't use Phase Rush right there. The W is enough. Ooh, close from the hands. Ooh, shit. Ooh! Ah, man, he gets the bailout. Oh, man, that's nasty. Yeah, Kalista Renata, man. It's one of the problems. So he gets 1 kill back. So they're playing into a cannon minion on this wave too. So you have... So Biscuits are better at healing from low HP. That's one thing to notice. He cleanses out of the Ignite. So he only gets the first tick of Ignite on him. It means that the heal will get full value too. No, the heal doesn't. He actually has... That's worth noting. The heal... You can see that right now. The heal cut is still on. Heal cut is still on. He heals now, and the heal cut... This is the symbol for heal cut, by the way. So the heal cut is still here. Yeah. Yeah. So the heal cut is still here. And it falls off now. So Guma doesn't get the full value of it. Ah, that's actually a mistake. Because when it comes down to this kind of close combos, that's really nasty. So he still has that there. Ooh, just about misjudges that. Just about misjudges that. If it actually handshakes away and just sticks around for the autos, maybe Guma can flash away. Is it one more auto? I think there's one more auto, right? No, it's two. Ooh. And they dash his forwards. Ah, God. Owie. Because if you walk away with 2 kills for Guma here, I think you're really happy. If you walk away with 2 kills, that's so insanely happy. But think about... I think one of the big takeaways from this is actually that... I think one of the big takeaways from this is the fact that actually Pays and Lehens have been very, very good at contesting Guma and Carrier's Lucian Nami. They came in prepared for Lucian Nami. And... Ooh, that's fun too. We have a Dirk. So I don't know whether this is going to be Pays sitting on Dirk, just because it's a really good... Hang on a second. So we have Twisted Fate being an AD carry, traditionally so. There's no tanks on the other side. You don't need to be a tank killer. So we used to see Sanguine Blade and like Lethality Callista top lane where you max Q. And we already kind of said that, yeah, it kind of sucks versus Callista, Poppy to be a Callista and doing damage. Also sucks versus Talia. Typically, Callista can't... Wait, actually, we should have talked about that before. Callista typically shouldn't be able to do damage against these three champions. You've got to hop out of the tidal wave. You've got to hop out of the... you can't be around the ground. You can't be around the Poppy W. If you go Lethality Callista, it's so much more playable for you. Because there's nothing... This is very intelligent from Pays. This is very intelligent from Pays. And then because you don't have that much attack speed in your build, you go for the Halo Blades, which makes sense with this here. And it means that you can get early attack... Well, you get attack speed in your build, even though you might build it not so readily. And Halo Blades is very good for early lane as well. Despite the fact that Lethal Tempo is typically better with Renata, if you're not building any attack speed in your build, and instead you're going for Lethality instead, that's huge. Really good Captain Jack there from Pays there. He gets a proper Captain Jack, that's good. Could Carrier have just stepped back there? Do he get... Oh, he cast the E on himself. Ah. So he casts E on it. Yeah, he casts E on himself rather than Guma. I think that's a mistake, actually. Hang on. So that's the thing. So he casts Heal, which gives Guma his Vigilance passive. He's got that. He's got... If he casts E on Guma and the Heal as well, doesn't Guma get a double stack of his passive? I think you can store 2 stacks of your Vigilance. That should have been the E onto Guma. That should have been E onto Guma. Because it gives you extra damage on Lucian. You don't I mean, you give yourself movement speed, which means that maybe you can dip back into the brush. But the extra damage it gives to Lucian is meant to be absolutely insane. Does he use one of his Vigilant passives on the minions? I think he does. If you give E to Guma, that kills. I think that's a mistake from Carrier. Because Lucian's passive is that when you're healed or buffed, or you're hitting a hard CC target within 1,000 units range of you, you get extra damage on your autos. He might have used... Did he use the E on himself to get Airy? Did he use it to get Airy? I think he uses it to give Airy to himself. But I think the difference in Vigilance passive is so big. I think that the difference in Vigilance passive is huge. Okay, I think that's a mistake. I think that's a mistake. Airy doesn't apply to yourself? I thought it did. Oh, no, it doesn't apply to yourself. You're completely right. Yeah, you're completely right. I mean, that's just a mistake, then. That's just a mistake. I mean, you maybe use it for the movement speed. You maybe use it for the movement speed, but, yeah. Damn, that was close. Close as hell. Why does it look like Lucian Q does no damage to Callista then? We'll see. Oh shit. Oopsies, I put that the wrong way. Let's have a look here. So what happens to the Lucian Q here? Ooh, it's Guardian Shield. Guardian Shield. Guardian Shield's the reason why it doesn't look like it does much. Yeah, okay, that's freaking close though. That could still be a 2-for-1. I think actually the E going onto Guma would have made the difference there. And now you've got the Dirk coming in from Pays. Either way, I think he ends up like... Yeah, I mean the bailout obviously gets like kind of crazy, but yeah. Okay. God damn the damage. That's Q-Max on the Callista, yeah. Q-Max with Dirk. Yep, good poke. Okay. So now you have no summoners in bot side. Can your owner do anything here? He has flash, he can shunt someone into a wall, presume. Well, no, they're moving away from the wall. Yeah, they moved away from the wall. That was very intelligent of them. Wait, did they know he was coming? When does he show? So they see him now. As soon as they see him now, you don't want to walk any closer than like here to a wall. If you walk anywhere here, then Poppy slams you and you die. So Lehens makes the correct decision and walks forwards like that. Could owner have flashed and pushed them back this way? Would that make a difference? No. Guardian shields up. I don't think you have the damage at this point. You don't have an ignite either. Yeah, that's just good positioning by Genji's bot lane. I don't think if you... No, he's not within flash wall stun range it's like right here. No, so when's he in wall stun range? Like, when's he close enough to the wall? Right now? If he flashes here and then slams him, that's a kill. So flat. I think he should flash and kill Lehens. I think. That should be an easy kill into Lehens. I think if you flash onto Renata, it's a kill. You would like to get the Callista, but I don't think you can. And once again, just a reminder, because T1's bot lane, you know, they got killed in the 2v2 for both of them. They don't get to survive and put wards down here. Look how many wards they have into the enemy jungle. They don't even have anything from mid lane right now. Chovy's doing well at getting the early push. Again, folks, there's no Dark Seal on Ahri. It's the best item. Just build a frickin' Dark Seal. Ahri is a champion that wants to be fighting and snowballing off of the first fight of the game. Now, you have a draft where everyone is easy to kill. You should be able to start fights and make something work out of it. This is a mistake. This is a mistake from Chovy. You should always go for Dark Seal. You should always go for Dark Seal first back as early as you can possibly get it. So Tristana, while we've all been saying this, has been scaling up in topside, getting a cull early. No vision on topside though. It feels like it has to be bot side focus, right? Because you've got the Callista Renata and you've got Lucian Nami. Did Carrier start support item? I guess he did, yeah. So Keen just trades heavy top. Hang on. This is important. Let's talk about this actually. So everything's been moving from bot side to top side. We have what important items do we have? So we don't have a Dark Seal, a little bit of HP, a little bit of HP. Tenacity. This is probably the strongest item we've got here, by the way. Courtesy Shard is probably the strongest item that anyone individually has here, but it's not like huge. Have level 6s hit for solo laners, but not junglers. Chovy's caught out in a bit of a weird spot, but he has flash noise, so he shouldn't die. Dark Seal, if you get stacks, rush Lichbane and win game. You should always get Dark Seal and you should try and really protect your stacks if you do win the first fight of the game as well. Don't just like trade 1-for-1. Make sure you take the guaranteed kills. Don't just die for 1-for-1s. I know a lot of Aris like to do that because it's just trading gold for gold. You got Dark Seal. I think that in pro play, I think Malignance is fine because it means just you can combo up with your teammates more and it doesn't matter about your individual damage. Really good reaction ult there. But now, oh, that's a mistake from Owner. That's a mistake from Owner. Because what he's trying to do is get Chovy through the minefield. He still has flash. If you go right now and you flash E, you get through that last bit here. So let's see how long he could potentially do that for. No, he can't do that now. He's outside of the minefield. You can see right here. You can see right here. There is nothing right here. That doesn't pop it right there. Pretty sure that doesn't pop it. Does that not pop it? I don't think that pops it. This stone disappears though. This stone disappears. Why the hell does that stone disappear? Presumably that means that it does hit. Why would that stone disappear otherwise? What the fuck? But why didn't it do... Huh? What? But it doesn't do the edge of it, though. Because it should do... If you actually hit Chovy there, you should take out one of the side ones as well. Why the hell does it do this middle? What the hell? Okay, so I guess it does work. Okay. Get something... That is so weird to me. Why does it pop the middle one but not the side one? It should 100% do the side one. So now Faker has... So, I mean, Chovy's, like, only got one ult thing back. Damn, and you get the honey fruit as well. While all this is happening, what happens in this top lane 1v1? So the gold card hits. Doesn't pop the cleanse. He exhausts late, but he doesn't exhaust the bomb. Cleanses out of the exhaust. Buster shot's still available. And then Ona gets the W for the extra movement speed, has phase rush as well. Zeus just like frickin' dunks on Keen. That's a really well played 1v1 from Zeus. And Ona does get the combo here. And then because Faker's stood next to walls, which gives him the rock surfing passive when he's out of combat. I think it gives you some when you're in combat as well. Just, ooh. What happens here? Nice. Yeah, that's actually not bad combo from Chovy. Ooh, you know how Chovy could have played that better, actually? Chovy could have won. Chovy could have got a kill here. So what you do as Chovy here to get this kill is you jump forward, so you RW auto, so you get all three of them. And then what you do is you don't Q right now. You Q in the direction of his jump, and if you have to redirect it, you flash to then redirect it at that point. But if he gets the Q return, he should 100% kill it. So you don't cast your Q. You auto right now. And then as he jumps, here, you Q flash. You Q flash here for an extra auto, and that gets you your reset, and then you can get out. So Chovy misplays that slightly. You can actually get a kill there. Or, alternatively, you Q flash this way and you kill Ona. And then Canyon gets to, like, help you clean up the rest of the kill. So that's actually a mistake from Chovy, but it's hard to tell in the moment. Faker might have his combo back up again, though, so you trade 1 for 1. That should be okay. It gets a bit hairy there, actually. Okay, and that's really cool. This is fun as well. You'll see him do... yeah, this is fun in terms of the Ari Talia. You just charm in the direction of the wall, so if he follows the wall, he just... Yep. So then he's going to have his flash blown now anyway. I think you can kill Zeus. It gets a bit hairy afterwards. But when you get the empowered heal on Ari, because you get the heal, I think you can make it work. Close run stuff. And he ends up blowing his flash anyway here. Gets out alive. Syndorix, thanks for following, by the way. I think you can just about play it. I think you can get the kill onto Zeus, and I think you can get out. Because of the empowered heal that would come out afterwards. And since Canyon is already alive, because remember while all this is happening, right? He ends up using the combo onto Canyon. So that means that it wouldn't be available. So if he used it onto Chovy, if he went in for the one, like for the kill onto Zeus and used the Q flash instead, or Q flash auto, then Canyon can potentially kind of like buy Chovy's escape as well. And if you had a Dark Seal, then you'd be able to get away with stacks from that. Interesting. How intriguing. If he goes down and kills Poppy, I think that you're maybe running into a 2v2 and things get a bit funky. I think it's easier to kill the Poppy and get out. Because I think this way, if you go towards top side, you're closer towards your own tower and can get out alive. That's freaking close though, actually. That is very close. Now, I think that's a mistake. He doesn't get the Q return on Zeus there. He doesn't get the Q return, and he can flash for an extra auto. Zeus had already used his flash, and he'd already used his jump out, and he uses Buster Shots. There's no way he can outplay that. Immediately makes a mistake as well. Yeah, Chovy immediately makes another mistake here as well. He buys cooldown. He had Lost Chapter already, and then he buys cooldown boots. You should 100% be getting Dark Seal. You should always be getting Dark Seal early game. Chovy is a fantastic mechanical player. Fantastic. He just doesn't know how to build Ari. And it really frustrates me. Because if you get a Dark Seal early and you get early kill participation, which you should be in games like this. You should be getting early kill participation. We just talked about how easy it is to finish off people like this. You should be walking away with Dark Seal stacks from this, getting over that breakpoint. Because when you are against champions like Tristana or Talia, or even anyone on the Lucian army as well, I mean, there's no exhaust. There's a little bit of engage, like an enchanter kind of healy stuff rather than engage. You should be able to one-shot these people late game. You should be able to, and this is such a skirmish-heavy game when you have gold cards which can set up for you, you have Canyon who can set up for you, and you've got the Callista Renata who can start jumping forward aggressively as well. You should be snowballing the fuck out of this game. It really annoys me how Chovy just doesn't want to he doesn't want to snowball. He just values the raw stats in hand, which I think that is, in terms of like, the thing is that Darksail is not even that bad in terms of stats in hand. It's okay, it's 350 gold for a nice little bump. But it gives you so much payoff. If you're not winning fights because of the extra 300 gold that could be used on some minor upgrade, or maybe just completing first item for like a very specific point of power in the game, then I feel like you're playing the Ori wrong anyway. You should be winning you should be so far ahead in the early game with Ori when you're picking this champion that Darksail should just end the game. On the whole. Yeah, Darksail is such a good item. Such a good item. And don't get me wrong, Malignus is a great power spike. It's 55 ultimate ability haste on this patch, by the way. 55 ultimate ability haste. Absolutely insane. Okay. So he has cooldown. He has a bit of cooldown reduction right now, so it's not like he's going to be like forcing the ult out is not the worst thing from Chovy. Oh, another thing here as well. I know we've talked about a lot of micro this game as opposed to like more macro and more vision control stuff. Right now, of course, Chovy is trying to once again make sure that T1 are not winning the jungle information battle, because in game 1, T1 massively lost jungle vision. And you can see once again, no wards on top side, no wards on top side. They do have like this one ward in Pixel Brush here. But Chovy goes in to put down a ward on bot side. He gets punished for it, but this is the bonus of Ari. You're realistically not going to get punished here unless Chovy gets flashed on by Ona. Does he have charm still? No, he doesn't. When does he use it? Oh, he charms him. Oh, he charms and then cancels his charm animation with the ult. That's fine. Doesn't get the Q afterwards. Gets on to Ona, but no one's Faker. You can wait. You can get one more charm in the duration of his ult. It's fine. God damn, that's some big damage on bot lane. So they see Canyon. Wait, they're fighting before they know where the jungle is. But yeah, I know they know that Chovy can't TP bot at that point, but there's a little bit of a worry that they get kind of third-party by Canyon, but Canyon doesn't have flash, so they end up getting a really good trade there. So Goomer and Carry up really good now, but what can they leverage off of this? So they stop Chovy getting like free access towards bot side. They end up controlling the vision around there as well. They sweep out the wall which you put down. Chovy now no longer has ults. He doesn't have flash. Goomer has flash and he has cleanse. They should be a winning fight for them now. Carrier has flash and he has ult and he has heal. Doesn't get the bubble. And then he gets CC, but that's fine. He's still on a load of HP. Good cleanse. I think Ona goes in way too deep though, doesn't he? Doesn't get the wall stun, but that's not the worst thing about that. I think you can just back off, can't he? Can he flash for pays here? Can he flash for a kill? Okay. Faker could be ult. Wait, how much ult? Does Faker not have enough combo mana for an ult? He might not have enough mana, because if he has enough, so picture this, right? Because Faker can then like ult across here even, and then there's like so much wall stun potential, but he might not have mana for it. Okay. So you can flash like if you flash, I don't know. You can flash and kill the hens. You can kill the hens, but you can't kill Pays right now. But if you do there and you land and you get a W, you might be able to get the ground onto Pays, and then you can also get the ult as well. So I think what you do here is after this ult comes due, so you backstep a little bit, flash this way, guaranteed wall stun onto La Hens, get the ult onto both of these two, get the Q onto Pays as well, and you should be able to kill both of these. So let's see how he plays it out. So he steps back, that's fine. I think... Oh, is he out of vision? You should be able to flash, kill. Flash, kill, double knock up, and then get the Q onto both of them, hopefully. That's the play. So what does he do here? No, he goes towards Canyon, and I think that's a mistake. He does get the knock up. Oh, yeah, you do have the cholesterol. Hang on, I'm talking shit. There's a cholesterol. What am I talking about? There's cholesterol. Does he not have W? Can you... yeah, that's another point as well. Can you just punt away someone here as well? Okay, so whatever. Ignore what I'm saying about the supports there. Maybe you can get a burst going to Lehens. But he's used his ult already, so Lehens is not necessarily that useful. Can you just punt out the both of them with a Callisto? Wait, no, so there is a problem here where maybe you can then flash forward as Lehens and then get pulled back by the Callisto, then you can tank the Poppy ult. So there is some really good counterplay here from Gen.G. And I think that Canyon is really quite tanky now again. We know how tanky this guy is. Pays even on... This is a... So Lehens has... He has Ignite, you have Cleanse. You can tank something with the Callisto and you can pull them back in. Okay. So good. Guma is tanking the dragon. Faker I don't think has enough mana to make this work out. How much... He dodges the charm. That's good.
Incompetent.
He gets hit. He's trying to... So because he's dodging the charm... He kind of walks into the Renata roll. So he walks up here. Then you should be able to backstep this anyway. Thanks to the forwards, by the way. Hey, Kitsy! Oh my god. Oh my god. Thanks to the raid. Jesus Christ. Hey, folks. Yeah. We were just talking about... we've just been going through the VOD of this. Okay, you know what, folks? I'm actually going to have to turn off this alert box because it's going to be so loud for a while. But thank you so much for everyone that came in with the raid. And yeah, we're just kind of wondering what could have happened differently in this fight here. Because... Faker gets caught by the end of this too. It's a problem. You can't realistically... I understand why Ona goes onto there. Is there anyone with a ward? No, there isn't. There's no one with a ward there as well. No Blink? I'm sorry, folks. You would be driven insane if I was sat here just listening to, like, everyone following. But thank you so much, everyone, for dropping in as well. I hope the stream was good as well. And good job on the stream today. So Ona steps back. That's fine. This is not the first time. Wait, why is the ad starting now? That's really unfortunate. Can we do that? I'm just gonna snooze that. It's fine. I don't want to slam you with adverts just as we come in as well. Pays, I'm gonna wait. Is Pays on vision? You can't get him anyway, right? Because even if you flash, you can't flash in that gap between the wall and get this, right? So you can't target Lehens. I don't think Canyon dies to this. Well, of course he doesn't die to it. Pays was on vision, but it's a really slim angle to try and get him out of there. And then he just immediately dies. Great triple knockup by Lehens too. Faker does have enough combo mana for just that combo. Does he hit? Who does he hit with that? Does he hit anyone? Okay. Oh, Pays jumps through it anyway, which is kind of hilarious. I think given how difficult it was to hit anything in this bit here, I think you just channel your Poppy ult after you've gone through with this, right? I think you just channel your Poppy ult, you punt these guys back as you go for the easy fight. I think Ona gets a bit greedy. I think he gets a bit greedy for like a double triple knockup or something like that. And potentially wants to just clean this through. I think if you punt out the bot lane, you can at least get a kill on Canyon. You get the smite down. These two are very low HP. You get Dragon, you get out. Yeah, so I think that's a little bit of greed. We kind of talked through a couple of different options and how they could have maybe gone forward. They get one kill there anyway. Just Chovy doesn't have a reset now. Okay. So it's still going to be a 2 for 2, right? Because Chovy dies here now. Yeah, you can't walk forward. So, I mean, honestly, they still get a 2 for 2, but it should have been better than that. It probably should have been a 2 for none. Probably should have been a 2 for none. Because Pays and Lehens should have been punted out. The jump at the cleanse from Pays is really clean. Yeah, he still takes the damage. I also think that the way that... I think that Lehens and Pays position really well around the Poppy, right? So, Lehens knows that he's safe, largely. And if he does get wall stunned, then Pays just pulls him out with the cholesterol. Pays is not... well, he knows that he's down at this one, but he doesn't give a clean E angle either. Fantastic. It's not the triple knockup, it's a double knockup. That works out really well for them. Then the flash out as well secures that. This should never have been like an even fight from Gen.G. That should never have happened like that. So yeah, I think maybe some misexecution from T1, like really good options that... I think, actually, it's really worth praising Pays and Lehens for how they've been playing this game. They've been holding even in lane, actually winning some really big fights as well. Even though Guma and Keria have pretty much ruined other teams with the Lucian Nami, and they've been willing to blind pick this as well. The fact that Gen.G come in with not one, but 2 answers prepared to the Lucian Nami is huge for them. It's really, really huge, actually. Like, no one else in the LCK can do that right now. No one else has, like, the brute laning strength to go up against T1 on multiple different levels. Good trade. Guma, buddy. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Handshakes him out of the piss. And then the ult goes wide. So, I think everyone's just going to walk away and forget about this one a little bit. Okay. But look how little health they're on. They don't even have flashes, man. You don't have the cholesterol. Just aim into the clump, don't you? I mean, that's already sad. Because it's the... we see the opportunity coming out of Callisto as well now, right? So this is lethality. The lethality has more value in a short term, especially against squishies, against stuff like the Poppy, because you're not going to get consistent auto-attack uptime. Like, you're not going to get against the Taliyah or the Poppy or the Tidal Wave. It's like, all of this is very difficult to play into. I think that this is a very intelligent build here as well. Come on, man. Can we not anti-synergy out of the Pierce, which is the only damage which Callista has? Folks, can we not do this? Okay, so what's Trevi doing here? So he's holding onto his charm. This is good. So, what you want to be doing as Ahri here, right, is you want to force someone against a wall. Uwu. So you want to force someone against a wall, so then they can't dodge in, like, different directions. So now in this case, Ona's trying to dodge out on a charm which he thinks is coming out in this direction, so he starts walking down here, but he's putting himself closer to this wall along here. So now if Trevi ults down here and charms across... I know this is going to be... So if he ults down here and he charms across, Ona has less directions to flee in. So he should be looking for a charm somewhere onto Ona. Yeah, so right now he's against the wall, so Ona has less directions to go towards. Go straight into melee range. Kills. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. That's a good angle from Trevi. I think one of the big mistakes which some Ahri players make is, nice, good stuff, is they don't hold on to their charm. Because what you realistically want to do is, wait, you keen, buddy? Oh, he's just roaming down. Why were they focusing on him? But yeah, I think that Ahri players need to hold on to the charm a little bit more most of the time. Closer and stuff. Alright, Zeus is left alone in top side, but... So you're going to cash Cole and you're going to get yourself... Do you get full first turret? I mean, King can just ult under test. No, you don't. So he just ults down there. That's fine. So he basically catches 2 waves, which is good for him. And then, of course, TF starts printing money from catching more minions as well. So that's okay for him. We still have no Dark Seal from Kryptonite, which is not good. Again, it's a snowbally game. Dark Seal means that Ahri goes from, like, chunking you into killing you. Magi's is Ahri's best item. You should never skip that item. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Point-blank charms are not easy to do anything about. Yeah, so we already talked about the Pierce, we talked about the angle of that as well. Oh shit. I have cancelled out full screen. Oopsies. And we go back out onto the map. So, once again, pretty much every time we talk about what's happening with T1 in this game, because in so I've done a lot of other VOD reviews as well. Typically, we've seen them get vision into the enemy jungle to allow them to play very aggressively. It's a very typical thing in high-low League of Legends and well, not high-low. I mean, top-tier League of Legends in terms of professional stuff. And T1 have typically done that as well with Ona getting into the enemy jungle and making a mess of things. It's been harder to do that because Guma and Carrier have been locked in lane. And also, like, Zeus is playing champions that can't move out of lane as well. He hasn't been playing stuff like the Aatrox or stuff like that, which can kind of go beyond the turret and get more safe vision down. So T1 typically, even though they do have, like, Faker and Ona moving into the enemy jungle and Carrier getting some wards down as well, this game has not been easy to achieve that because of particularly how well Pays and Lehens have been doing in laning phase, and then also how Canyon has been slipping off of vision as well. Even though T1 have got some minimal wards in. I think that Faker has done... He did an okay job on the LeBlanc of getting some wards down, but then the LeBlanc was just a useless champion, so that kind of sucked. Alright. And now even the problem with this kind of thing, right, is like, Ona's trying to walk up towards Canyon here, but... Wait, what? How did this start? Was that just over a Skull Crab? Yeah, it was. But like, while this is happening, even Keen is pushing in topside. If this is another matchup where, you know... Zeus could head in through here, then maybe this is different, right? Because you can have like a double collapse from a top lane that's pushing. Alright. So this game is very different from other T1 series, because Genji, they have winning lanes and they've not conceded jungle vision. So T1 don't feel like they can jump forward with something like this Lucian. They're eating a load of poke at this point too. Teleports. Okay, so now I get around Herald. So, because of this kind of play, they haven't been able to force Genji out of River very easily because Ona, he just kind of met up with Canyon here as well. Keen's walking forward with the gold card. You've got teleports coming in as well. What's happening here? What's happening here? So they don't end up... So they don't have the Callista ult to pull Lehen's out. I mean, Lehen's has already used his most of his kit, right? He's used his ultimate. It's not a great tidal wave as well. Where's that tidal wave going? I don't think that's a great Poppy ult. That's not a great Poppy ult. You don't have the Callista ult to worry about not being able to pick Lehen's here either. Canyon has flash. Double teleports coming in. Where's Faker's teleports coming right in the middle of things? So T1 are fighting straight down front to back. They don't have another angle to play around. Zest drops out of this thing. Not a great tidal wave. Not a great tidal wave. And now Ono just... Now, you can't see this teleport coming through because it's a regular vision ward, right? If this is a control ward, you can see it even through Fog of War. And I think that Lehen's does a really good job here. So, yeah, I think Poppy was aiming for Callista. You can't do that when Lehen's is stood right in front of you. So Lehen's just sits there and, I mean, Poppy maybe could have flash ulted. But then maybe there's a chance that Paze ends up flashing away from that too. And I don't know whether it's good to, like... I don't think you can flash for flash trade when you're on this HP, because I think you just die after you have no flash at that point. So Ona CC'd in the middle of this. He picks up his passive shield. Okay. Chovy has now waited out the E here. There's no big burst damage because Gumas just used all of his regular kit. Faker's only got his Q up running as well. So he can then kind of like jump forward. Now, how would I jump here? I think you'd probably like jump here and then look for a charm in this angle. See if you can just catch the fish in the barrel. Get yourself... Do you have Q up now? I don't think you do. Maybe you do. Oh, yeah, that's close. That's close. Fake a really good dodge angle there. Again, it's harder to dodge when you're against walls. Okay, fair play. So that's actually a no-kill fight somehow or other. Especially when Chovy, it felt like he was in a really good angle to make something work there. Especially with the next cooldown of the Q from Callista coming up as well. When Chovy was going for this... Nah, Paze was on the Herald. That's fine. That's okay. So, Gen get themselves Herald. And that's good for them. That's good for them. Oh... Shame him. Driver's license revoked. Wah, wah. That sucks. That actually really sucks. Because that means maybe that mid turret survives now. Ah, that would have been so clean. Okay, you don't have Callista ult still. This is a good pick. I like this a lot. Owner actually gets put close to the blade by the wall as well. He waits out his flash. Again, doesn't use the combo too early so he can have like maybe the flick back. Ooh. Wait, actually, does he use his W? Does he use that? Where's the flick back? Does he not have it? Where's your flick back? Does he not have it? Where did he use that? He didn't use that in that play. Ah, it's a shame. I think as soon as the flash is gone, you look for the flick back, even though it wouldn't be onto a minefield. I think you just use the flick back, right? Buys you an extra auto or buys you some extra Q. Canyon realizing he would put himself in danger by running it into the turret and then ramming into the wall instead. Ah, yeah. Actually, hang on. Is this actually Big Brain? Was Poppy there? No, Poppy wasn't there. Because Poppy can stop you flipping out of the Herald, by the way. Because it... Why have we got a Shiv on Lucian? Why? Did we feel particularly electric today? Did we feel like we needed more voltage? Did we... Why? What are we doing here? Like, surely just Stormrazor Fire Cannon is still better, right? Because you're not going to have... I mean, Shiv just doesn't give you the same stats as a Stormrazor. Like, you're a Lucian. You should always have Wave Clear anyway. And this is still... I mean, this is still a good pick attempt from Faker. If you get this play here just before Dragon, no bailout means that you can be much more aggressive with how you play out picks like this too. Okay, close though. Close. Honestly, not a bad attempt from Faker. I think that's really good. Also, another thing here too, I remembered this a little bit from watching the post game as well. Seraph's is a really good item here. This is really good. I almost wonder if you should go for Zhonya second on Faker here though. Because this is such a squishy game. Such a squishy game. Okay, so hang on, wait. So Tristana sticks in top lane, but then doesn't manage to kind of mark Keen. But like, if you go for Zhonya's, you can be the person like running force. I don't think Banshees is good because Banshees gets popped by TFL. You can't go Banshees because TFL pops it for free. You don't have a TP on Tristana at this point, which just kind of sucks. There's still flash. Oh my god, one of the best objective secures in the game, by the way. That sucks. Yeah. Does Chovy have Dark Seal yet? No. No, he does not. This sucks, man. Just get a Dark Seal. It's such a bursty game, such a squishy game as well. Like, you should always get a Dark Seal, but if there's a better way, there's very few games that will be better to do it than this kind of one, right? I'm gonna mold so much at Pro Aries again. Pro Aries exist to hurt me. Like, Medjai's is Ahri's best item. It's very easy to defend your stacks. Ahri KDAs are always good. And if you win one fight, you pretty much win the game after that point. Paze has Yomu's as well now, so he has tons of lethality. There's no armor being built up on the other side, really. I think that Faker should go towards Zhonya's as well. Because if you go Zhonya's, you can, like, ride your wall into the enemy team, and then just look for, like, the miracle pick, and get, like, that big play. But you can also do that and actually shrug off some of the initial engage in a way that other people can't. In squishy games, stuff like Edges of Night and like Edge of Night and then Zhonya's have so much more value. And TFL into Ahri just ulting 3 times onto a target is such long range pick as well. Spoil, he doesn't get... Wait, does he really not get Dark Seal at all? Are you fucking kidding me? I would love to love Chovy. I think Chovy mechanically is so good. I just hate his builds. I just hate his builds so much. Wasn't here for the first game. What did you think of the Shiv Collector affiliates from Paze? Against T1 because they benefit so much. Nameplates on, T1 of... Oh, carrier. Hang on, one second. Let me pause it. Nameplates on, T1 are a team which benefit a massive amount from pushing lanes so they can get into the enemy jungle, drop vision, get tracking of the enemy jungler, and then make plays off of that. They are probably the most creative team in the world doing that right now. So if you have Shiv, really good. And if you're against no... Oh, so this is another thing too. So he took triple tonic and he maxed lethality second. So when he got Collector, he had maxed out lethality, which was brought even earlier by triple tonic. So you get it when you're at level 12, not level 13. And then when you get the Collector as well. You got something... How much lethality do you get from FLR? Something like 11... I don't know, it's a decent amount from your stats being maxed out. And there was 0 tanks on the other team. You saw he killed Jarvan in that game, who had to go for Merc Treads in like 2 autos. Like the one front line of T1. So that made a lot of sense to me. That made a lot of sense to me. And yeah, Chovy, so back to what you're saying in chat there, Anders. Yeah, Chovy does play Ahri really well. He does. But I just don't like his builds. I don't think his snowballs on the champion work very well compared to someone like Knight. I prefer Knight just because he understands how to snowball better, even if I think Chovy is slightly better mechanically than him, and maybe better in laning phase as well. Which is not a surprise because it's Chovy. And you can see how well Chovy is playmaking in this game to keep himself safe, but also get onto priority targets. Like, Carrier is not safe in this game. He is not safe at all. You can see even right here, right? He's just hanging off just off of vision. See that? You know, Faker is going towards him right now and trying to curtail him from moving in. And Faker has level 2 ult now, so it's a very long range, like, response. So he's ulting on the top here as well. Canyon does have flash. You can actually go for a flash combo. Ooh, good pick. That's what he was aiming for. That's what he was looking for here. He's just trying to, like... So he dodges back on the bubble. Dodges forward here. Ah, man. He's just playing down... He's playing bullet hell. This dude's playing Toho. He's playing bullet hell. Good dash back from Goomer. So even though the initial pick comes in... Ooh, Goomer is doing great damage here. Immediately backsteps. Really good reactions from there. Carry almost gets caught in anyway. Bailout, fantastic pick. And that is why this game is really, really nasty for playing the initiators. This is why I think stuff like Azonia's is really important in this game. Oof. Is it normal for Nami to max W over E? Most of the time with Lucian, you go for the E max. You go WE, and yeah, I mean, W is just really good for your laning presence, but you need like your E max for mid game. If you can help it. Okay, so Twisted Fate ult coming in now. There is no jungler. Yeah, because you got that pick on the jungle. T1, by the way, this is something that they're fantastic at. I'm losing part pick. So I'm looking at the micro this a lot, but think about it this way, right? You've just killed the jungler, got some really important ult sets. There's no Ariel. Renata ult is still down, very low cooldown, very high cooldown at early levels. So you go towards this Baron. T1 is so good at getting clutch picks onto Baron and turning it around into game wins. I remember in their first time facing off against KT this split, they did a really good job of doing that too. So they draw a teleport, they draw out the Twisted Fate ult. Problem is now, you're going to have to reset and Genji, because you're really low HP. And Genji get to stay around, but doesn't this mean that there's a potential of a free Baron for Genji? Gumi usually needs to recall ASAP, which is why they're trying to stop it right here. You have Kalista ult to pull Lahen's back, so he can kind of like be the person throwing himself into the play. They get the wall stun onto him, and they get the Nami ult in a really good corridor. Okay. Yep, yeah. So you're probably forcing, what, 2 flashes here? No, doesn't quite catch pace. God damn, that was close. Chovy, balls of steel, by the way. He knows he won't die from that, so he just ults through it. He doesn't flash out. He just immediately ults through it, takes the damage, and just knows he won't die. God damn, that's balls of steel from Chovy. Good damage calculation, though. He gets to waste the lower cooldown with the ult, which will be up, because it's a second rank now with... So he's going to have... Because he'll have Ult Hunter as well, and he's gotten... How many people has he killed on here? He's probably gotten 3 kill participation or so. I don't think he's killed the same person twice, even if it's just 2. He's probably going to have, like, 80 ult haste. So his ult at this point is normally around about... I think second rank of Ariel is 100 seconds. So it'll be at about a minute cooldown. So he uses the minute cooldown instead of the flash cooldown, which is 5 minutes. Hey, Zonala. Thanks for the... How's it going, folks? Thanks for the follows, everyone, by the way. I really appreciate it. Oh, man. This is a clutch pick, actually. I know that Canyon is looking for the grouped up flash combo because he wants to protect mid turret. It's hard to do that into the Poppy or W, but you can still do that potentially as well. If you get a good enough, if you get enough Q stun, you can maybe get the stun into the point where Poppy can't get the W in time for you to get like a good Q ult. Close run stuff here. This is Genji just trying to... Oh, shit. They almost get a... Are you kidding me? They almost get a second pick in a row onto Canyon? They almost get a clutch pick 2 times in a row onto the jungler around Baron spawn. He has bailout this time, but oh my god, that's actually so nice. Oh no. That part is so clutch. I would love to see what the setup is here. So let's have a look. So Keen has flash, he has exhaust. Guma doesn't have cleanse. Faker doesn't have ult yet. Chovy's coming down from top of mid. He has ult and flash back. Again, he has his flash right now. Faker should die here, by the way. I think, by the way, as soon as you see him channeling that E, I think you actually just flash charm. You can just charm flash and immediately kill him, I feel. You're at 2 items. You should kill him. And Faker has Merc Treads, but he doesn't have like a Banshee second or something like that, or a Zonya's. No cleanse. Fantastic play by Keen. Guma just positions really poorly there. Are they all in too much for... They all in too much for the kill onto Canyon. What happens with Zeus here? Oh, he tries to kill Canyon on the other side of the wall. Oh my god, that's so close onto Canyon. Because imagine if you get the kill onto Canyon there, Zeus gets another hop out. He probably dies anyway. I think he dies anyway, probably, right? But the smite is down for Baron, which means that if Ona is alive, which he will be. Oh, he gets the hop out anyway because he gets the 4-stack bomb. Does he have Triumph? If he has Triumph, maybe that helps too. Well, the Ignite makes that much worse. Chovy does end up killing Faker in top river. Triple kill for Baze, Jesus. So close. If they get that kill into the jungler. But like, all of this starts off, right? Let's just go back to the setup of this, right? Because we viewed it from the T1 point of view. This play here is really clutch from Genji. Just to say, you have to reset right now. You have none of your cooldowns and you're low HP. Lahens knows he can battle ward a little bit, right? Because he has the Kalista ult to pull him back out. But as we come back to live on this one, Paze is in a great spot here. Canyon has bailout. Ooh, fucking hell, that's close onto Canyon, though. Keen has side lane pressure. Chovy has side lane pressure. So they get to have a 2-prong collapse. Faker doesn't have his ult yet. He has a couple of seconds. Faker is waiting for his ult to come back up to try and, like, reorganize this team fight. What mic am I using? Am I using a Rode NC1A? And it's going through a compressor and a preamp to kind of, which changes it a little bit as well. Preamp into compressor. So they have double winning side lanes. Genji, even without the even without TF ult, managed to get Keen into the side lane. They get a card onto the cleanseless Guma, man. He's in a position to like absolutely run this game too if he ends up getting like one clean team fight. Same with Chovy. Chovy deals with the other flanking threat. So Faker's ult is coming up just now. Yeah. Really well played from Chovy to shut down. Because if that wall ends up like shutting off the other part of the fight, there's a potential that they could reset the fight and maybe look for another part of that play. So Gen G, they really well organized team fight. They don't let T1 play. This is another thing which T1 do a lot, right? T1 are really, really good at approaching fights from multiple directions. Gen G do that, but better in this fight. That's actually incredible. Gen G do a really good job of approaching this fight from multiple angles on multiple times. I get that this team composition wants to play on probably more front to back at points too, because they have, but they have the Talia that can approach on one flank. You've got Lucian, Tristana that can both reposition very well as AD carries. Oof, such good CC chain. They just don't respect Keen coming from that angle. The flash fire cannon is such threat range. This is so close. These are some of the best constructed team fights I've seen this year. This is a very high level game. And I think that you can understand why T1 feel like they're forced into the position that they're in. Then they're playing a very snowbally composition, but they haven't managed to get ahead. I think that the laning phase from Gen G has been excellent across the board. Even with that, particularly around here, T1 have nearly found 2 picks onto Canyon in a row around Baron. Now, they ended up losing well, they found the one under mid turret, but then the second one ends up snowballing into Baron lost. They reset back out onto the map again. They've lost all vision control right now. And what do you do right now? So Zeus ends up like getting everything blown on the bot side. So he blows Cleanse and Flash, which is, you know, not great. Every time that Chovy ults forward, he's completely fine to just wait until his second cooldown. What's he getting now? Is he going towards Banshees now? I think that's fine. I think actually both Ahri and Talia can afford to go defensive item at some point in their build and be like just a lot more ballsy. Whether that's Banshees for Ahri or whether it's Zhonya's for them as well. I think both are fine for Chovy in this game for third item. I think that he's missed the chance to go Magi stacking. I think that would have been very powerful this game. I think that I would have taken Lichbane over Horizon Focus because it's the better cooldown item for Ahri. And you only really want one in your build. You don't want to overstack. Once you get over like 80 haste, you don't really need more than that point, really. If you want the replay... Wait, Sotzer, you have the replay file? Are you kidding me? Holy shit, yeah, Sotzer, if you can get me the replay files for this stuff, that'd be fantastic. Oh my god. Do I think T1 can still be HLE? Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, if I can get the replay... Holy shit, that'd be crazy. Okay, so teleporting back in from Chovy, who has just gone and bought. Faker's looking to get the shove over the wall. Good reaction speed. They had flashes anyway, but this is the other thing too, right? So Owner potentially is looking to Hex Flash at the same time as the combo to try and use the Talia Poppy combo. This last series hasn't been uploaded? Huh. I mean, Sots is a coach, so I kind of expect Sots to have some contacts here and there. Okay. Oh, triple knockback, but do they have the follow-up now? They don't have flashes on someone like Faker. Carrier can maybe flash for an ult. You know what? I almost wonder if it's worth flashing for an ult here. Lehens can flash up, but if you kill Keen, that's one member off the board at least. Yeah, I think you have to flash for that ult, Carrier. Just make it that much harder to dodge. Lehens is likely getting out anyway. He's tanking. He can tanking and he can flash towards Pays for an ult. So really, realistically, he's not dying. But you could flash for the Nami ult. Gosh, flash for the Nami ult to kill Keen. It's close run stuff. One of the other things too worth noting. So, when you have... Let's have a look at the item build for... Oh, whatever. I'll just go forwards. Go forwards. It's fine. I want to see the item build, because when you're running... By the way, so when you have, you know, multiple Zeal items like this... Wait, are they Zeal? No, they're not even Zeal. Ignore me, whatever. But, like, when you have Zeal items... No, Fire Cannon is. Are they? What does Zeal even build into anymore? But you get movement speed with them anyway. So, yeah. Okay, you know what? I'm actually just completely trolling. When you... Anyway, TF has a lot of movement speed from Light Flip Footwork when he procs that, at least. It used to be the truth when you had Zeal items. Zealo's in rapid fire cannon, Hurricane PD. Yeah, so it's in rapid fire cannon. So you have it at least in that.
한번 거리를 좀 두고 있습니다. 아직까지
You don't have it on Shiv. I was like, hang on.
젠지
Gets weird now. They changed a lot of these recipes. But you get a lot more movement speed, which just makes it harder to just pin things down. It used to be a big thing for Xayah, when Xayah used to go Phantom Dancer and had W running. You just have so much move speed, much harder to hit stuff on them. I want to see what Paze is going to do with this full lethality. When's his next Pierce going to come through? He has an Edge of Night too, which makes it harder to reach onto him now as well. Oh boy, now we have a Dark Seal. Why would you buy this now? The whole point of a Dark Seal is you buy it before the big fight, and then you can you snowball off of it. There's no point buying it after your big fights. Like why? Why?
즐거운 한때를 보내는 상황.
You buy it early. An early Magi's and an early Dark Seal makes much more sense. Knight blank buys Magi's, by the way. And he literally just buys it and says, we'll get a big fight, and then you'll get the stacks afterwards. In the last RE game he had, he ended up getting a quadra kill after he buys the blank Magi's, and it completely stacks him out of Oblivion, and it just ends the game off of that.
자, 그러다 보니까 그걸 이용해서
Yeah, Dark Seal before first item is completely fine. I think that you should genuinely go Dark Seal first back every game.
완벽하게 클리어하면서
Because of the AP buffs. I mean, Dark Seal's great stuff anyway. I mean, Owner's just like... Okay, I've been ranting too much. I've been actually forgetting to talk about this. I mean, at this point, you have everything back up from here, right? You have flashes, you have ults, you have every flash and every ult in the game. You're trying to get some shallow vision to make a play somewhere, particularly when you've got stuff like the Talia wall and you've got like these double ults as well. T1, they have maybe one shot left in the chamber. Again, there's not that... You only have Canyon, who's that tanky on this other team. You do have Cholesterol and you do have Bailout to make things a little harder to take off the first target. But even then, T1 have like a little bit of playmaking left. Like a little bit. So he's trying to take Wolves on spawn. And he just gets hit by CC and just... Yeah. Okay, he's lucky not to die there, actually. He's very lucky not to die. I guess Murktred's help, but... Good charm on the wall. That's a good charm on the wall. I mean, Faker shouldn't be going to... I think Chovy's shown this like 2 or 3 times this game. That's nasty. I mean, does he have vision here? So he has vision of Chovy doing this. So you have minions here. As soon as you see this charm animation, you just hop off here instead. You should be watching for the charm animation because they're on minions here as well. There's minion vision. You should hop off here. That's just Faker not reacting very well. He's shown he's going to do that this game. It's part of the Ahri Talia matchup. If you ult too close to the Ahri, then she will just aim at the wall. It's really good from Chovy because... So he kind of aligns... So you see here, so like he aligns himself with the wall. He gets as close to the wall as he can do. So if he throws out the charm here, as Talia goes across here, it's much easier to hit. If he aimed it this way, it's much harder to get the timing. It's like when you're playing Blitzcrank versus Thresh. Right? Because he's going in this direction, you just aim along the line. So for instance, if you had like a... So if Thresh is here, and someone's like lanterning along this line, right? Now, what Blitzcrank does is he kind of like stands here and he just aims along the line. He just aims towards the Thresh and he hits it. With the, because you know that Ahri's coming from this direction, it's like, well, you know, if I throw it this way, she will just travel into my charm. And that's exactly what happens here. That's really good. That's really good. He gets himself into a good angle. He times it well. There is still a timing component to it. But like Faker, dude, as soon as you see that charm animation, you hop off early. I just don't think that's very respectful from Faker. There's 2 parts to this. I think that Chovy plays that really well. I think that Faker is really not respectful with it. Also, he's going into a target with a freaking Banshees. And he uses the last remaining part of his things of his last duration of his ult to make sure he gets a charm duration, a second charm and duration of the ult. That's not a flash. You don't need to flash that, I don't think, Goomer. Oh, well, he has 1 Dark Seal now, folks. Yay. 1 Dark Seal. Yum. The thing is, though, for the majority... I actually think in this series, I don't think Faker is... I think this Talia game's been fine to good. That's an awkward play, but I think on the whole, Faker's been good. The early topside skirmish was good. This is a team diff over an individual role diff. I think if you're going to point out anything, I think laning phase from bot... I mean... Owner's greeted for camps like twice in a row now, trying to get some vision. That kind of sucks from him. But it's what do you do at this position, right? You need like a little bit of vision to play off of. And Genji have just punished them at every time. I think if you're going to pick out an individual role diff, I actually think it's bot lane laning phase. I think that T1 put a lot of faith into Goomer and Keria winning out bot lane laning phase, and that just wasn't achieved in the way that they wanted. Really good from Chovy to like cover this angle, flash out as well. So he kind of like follows where one of the different retreat angles that Faker could have gone towards. That was nice. Yeah. And then he just doesn't expect them to have not reset yet. Would it have been worth to buy a pot instead of a Dark Seal if you think it's the final big fight? At this point, well, I mean, I would just say just get the full Magi's if you have the gold for it, sure, because you get the fight mid-value as well. But yeah, if you think it's going to end the game, then sure, why not? Also worth noting as well, now you've gone from Verdant Barrier up to the full Bounties. It's now a 30-second cooldown on the passive. I think it's something like 70 or 80 or something like that with just the Verdant Barrier. God damn, look how quickly they respond from everywhere. When you're playing around inner turrets, it's much quicker to get from one lane to the other, right? So having stuff like the Ahri to ult over the wall, nasty. Doesn't land the charm there, but it's fine. Again, like, I think that Chovy's been comboing up with his team really well. His timing has been really good. His mechanics have been really good. I just don't like his builds. I just don't like his builds, man. How'd you draft if you didn't expect lane... how would you draft if you didn't expect bot lane to smash laning phase? Well, that's just not T1. T1 draft for winning lanes. They always do. The fact that they can't blind pick this Lucian army is the big learning point from this series. Against Gen G, anyway. Gen G have multiple answers into the Lucian army. So I wonder whether T1, the next time they face Gen G, should pick red side and not put as much faith in the Lucian army blind pick, and try and then see if they can get themselves a bit more information for bot lane. I think that you maybe blind pick towards jungle mid instead. And then much like we saw into Worlds from when T1 won, I think you blind pick bot lane instead. So now they pop the TF ult to make sure that they can get vision of where T1 are on the map. That allows them free push in top side and they stop the recalls. Chovy hops over the wall, potentially threatening carrier. He can maybe threaten Guma here as well, actually. Yeah, he kills Guma if he kills him. Oh god, if he kills him, he ends. God damn. So now at least Guma gets to a recall, but he doesn't have cleanse now. And now cleanse is nasty because now Lehens can threaten him with ult. You've got Keen who can threaten him with flash gold card as well. Keen's even got himself a QSS, so he can go even more aggressive if he wants to. If he had Magi's, Guma was dead. I love the way you think, Len. If he has Magi's, they're dead. Exactly. This is what we're learning here, folks. You're going to be all of you are going to be such avid Magi's readers by the end of this. You're going to be, like, signing up to your local book clubs. And throughout all of this as well, because Owner has been denied entrance into his jungle, like around the Raptors, and then also, well, around Wolves and Raptors, the wards which T1 have are so sparse. T1 have not let, Gen G have not let T1 get vision at any point in this game. Like, it's really interesting to see T1 be pushed so heavily by a team like this. In terms of just, there is never breathing room. Ever. There's never breathing room. Okay. Faker gets tapped a little bit there, which is nasty. You can see the damage they have. Fire Cannon up. Canyon is tanky as balls at this point. You don't even one-shot Canyon, because now with the gold advantage, Canyon can position really aggressively. Oh, shit. Yeah. Guma forced to dash back means that you can't counter-engage when the gold card comes in. Second gold card, there's no cleanse. He just, oh my god, good. I mean, the exhaust actually goes on to Tristana there. This Tristana has done very little. I think that there's also some problems in regards to, like, drafting top laners that can't just impact fights. So, you know, Zeus isn't on a flanking Aatrox that can assassinate the backline. I think Gen G removed that in this draft. But this was a really good game from Gen G. I don't even think that, like, T1 played that badly. I think that the big things to take away from this are the fact that Pays and Lehens came in with multiple answers to the Lucian army, which T1 thought they could blind pick. They couldn't. I think that Zeus got caught out a little bit towards topside because the jungle vision wasn't fantastic, like T1 normally have. So I think this will be a big learning experience for T1 in terms of saying you can't blind pick what you thought you could blind pick in bot side. And I think that Gen G will walk away from this very, very happy. They had great jungle clearing. I think at jungle vision, they had great constant pressure to stop T1 from being able to get any sort of comeback potential. I thought that Canyon was fantastic in both games. I think that Pays and Lehens were fantastic in both games. I think maybe T1 got a little bit lost in the sauce in the top lane draft as well. I think that I would have much... What was the chant pick I said topside? I think that the Yasuo topside potentially could have worked out better than the Tristana, because it allows them to combo up more in the wombo combo, and maybe catch out the backline. And also, thank you so much, Scoople, for the Prime. You're very, very kind. Okay, folks, I've been streaming for 8.5 hours, and frankly, that's a lot. So this VOD review will be up on YouTube. So thanks everyone that stuck that stuck with me with that. I'm starting to lose my words because I didn't sleep very well last night. And thank you everyone that came from the raid as well. So everyone that came from Kitty's raid, I really appreciate it. I don't co-stream LEC. Is LEC on? What I'm gonna do, folks, is I'm gonna see if there's anyone else to go raid over to. I know that it was obviously quite soon that you guys raided over to me anyway. Who's on? Okay, folks. Sam is streaming. So my brother's streaming. He was also a friend of Kitty. Well, I mean, he's my brother, so he's a friend of mine. But we both of us hung out with Kitty actually in London around MSI. It was cool. So he's playing Final Fantasy. So it's not League of Legends. But I hope you really enjoy him doing that. I'm gonna go pass out. And then yeah, well, I don't know. I'll just pass on the good regards, folks. Thanks everyone for joining. And yeah, you'll see this on YouTube, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for more